everybody. Johnny Open the Plot Hole with my good buddy J.L.Warren.
Or something.
Or something. There's something going on outside. Some crazy kids are blowing shit up. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but whatever.
Even where I am, I've got it here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like something's going on nationwide. My dogs are fucking losing their shit, man. I feel bad for them. Every year we do this. I mean, they know it's coming. They can feel it. So yeah, here we are. We got one dog directly in my leg. He won't leave me alone. He'll follow me everywhere. But, what are you going to do? He's a little guy, and he's, where'd he go? There he is. Yep, right on my legs. What am I going to do? If I move, I'll like roll him over the chair. So I'm stuck here for a while.
Well, I'm very fortunate. My German Shepherds are not bugged by it. They're just blazing out like normal.
Yeah. The Pringles hang out. One of the pop and never stop. Yes, every German Truth. What the fuck is that? That's
Sorry,
okay.
my bad.
Hey, the Grand Dark Light in the chat. What's up, buddy? Happy America Day. That's right. Happy America Day. Irish Demon. So much noise. Ugly German Truths. Outlaw Jer. Who else we have here? Prime Red.
Ooh, Steaming Cup of Reason. Hey, welcome back, man. Good. I met him on the Shills stream there.
Yeah, I watched that. Well, I kind of watched that stream. I was doing that and then working on my expose video. It's almost ready. Just a couple more parts and pieces to put in there, and it's coming out. It's coming out next week. It will be out next week. You heard it here first. The expose video that is many people on both sides of the flat earth.
Say the fireworks are too loud.
Fireworks are too loud. I'm sorry.
Can't hear a damn thing.
Can't hear. Oh, fuck. Fuck those fireworks. Now you can't hear anything except me and JL. I always forget that there's volume with those stupid things. There, you feel better? Better, everybody? I think we did. Can't hear a damn thing. Yes, Irish Demon. Now we got it. Irish Demon, nobody asked you, but I'm glad you said something. Thank you, buddy. So it's actually, yeah. Fireworks are never too loud for America, says the Outlaw Jerry. That's true. Fireworks are never too loud for America. We had some people with like fucking mortars going off just like 20 minutes ago. Bomb burst in the air. How it continued. Yep, that's true. All right. Now we're here. Now we can say hello. Now we can say hi to everybody. Hi. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of, happy America Day, y'all, says Irish Demon. Good to have you here. Yeah, man. So I caught you on the Shills. That was a good show. Like I said, that was
awesome.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of fun. I think Dick Dawson is in the chat. I think he's in the chat. And Amy Hogan, she's in there somewhere, lurking probably. Fucking mortars. I hope
there
they
she
lose.
is.
I doubt it. There she is. They're too loud for the plot hole. I don't know. Not too loud for me. I mean, too loud for my dogs, but not for me.
Trump for prime minister.
Trump for... You don't want to do that to yourself. You don't want to do that to yourself.
England already got him. His name is Boris Johnson.
Yeah, Boris Johnson. I was gonna say. I mean, unless you're talking about, the good old land down under.
Trump 2.0.
Oh man, Flat Derp. Flat Derp's in the house. What's up, Flat Derp?
Oh, dude, Flat Derp, your intro of Irish Demon, fucking brilliant. I had to stop my car.
Yeah.
At one point, just as this is why you don't YouTube and drink.
Yeah. All right, was Mila's in the house? Hi, Mila. Don't tell anybody you know me for real, because then they'll fucking ask you questions. Oh man, Happy Independence Day from the descendant of one of the singers. No British prime rib. Canada's, you don't want Trump in Canada. You don't.
No.
You don't want Trump.
I think Trudeau would whoop the shit out of him.
I
Trudeau's
mean,
son.
probably he's young enough.
Yeah.
Kanye running for president 2020. Um,
I'm sick of this Matrix stream.
yeah, yeah.
My wife and I actually have a kind of a pool going with our friends as to what do we think is going to happen now that we're in the back half of 2020. Um, so apparently she's got a double. She's taken double pandemic is going to hit. So we're gonna have a second pandemic because we got that new swine flu that's coming out of the east. And I took Yellowstone eruption.
Hmm. She's winning. I think. I think she's
I think
winning.
I think she might. She
She might
might
win
win.
this one. Yeah.
But I always go for the long odds. So when it pays, boom.
Oh, and Flat Earth says signers. Golly, my glasses suck. I even have my glasses on. Signers of the Declaration. So yeah.
Yes, ugly German truths. We will need that half of the rest of the year to use up all the toilet paper.
You gonna make Flat Derb says he's gonna do the plot hole one of these days. I will do a little happy dance when that happens. That's all I'm saying.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, and my old broken ass can't dance. That's all I'm saying. So yeah. Anyway, back to you being on the Shills. The Shills is a fun show, and I feel bad, Amy Hogan and Dave and all of you other Dick Dawsons and all you guys that I just now subscribed. I thought I'd subscribed earlier, and then I was in the thing at the very end of it. I said, "Oh shit, my subscribe button isn't on." So there you are. Now I'm subscribed. Now I'll know when you guys go live, or at least I should. Don't say anything. They can't hear you, JL.
What?
I'm kidding. They can hear you just fine.
Yeah, you didn't say anything. I was listening to you talk.
Oh, is that how this works? Fuck. Nobody wants to listen to me talk.
I didn't have a comment after that. But it was an amazing show. Crafty Keela actually got in touch with me and asked me if I wanted to be on the show. I was like, hell yes, I'll take any opportunity to whore myself out for channels. I got no problem with that whatsoever. I changed my fucking name for the audience out there. So I did it for you guys, all for you.
We do it. That's what we do this for you, not for us. Not because we need to conflate our egos by any means. We do it for you, the people.
So she hollered at me, and just like getting drawn into a new kind of fetish. It usually takes a pretty girl to do it, and she gets you in, and you start out nervous, and then all of a sudden you're freaking out the people that are already there. So it was a lot of fun. We saw some really, really, really stupid shit. I'm a little freaked out about the notion that Nathan Thompson is walking around armed. That is concerning to me. I knew he carried pepper spray, but
Who
I did
got
not
that
know
fucking fool a gun?
I have no idea, but he did some sort of thing where he was talking about what's the better protection, a mask or a gun, and he had him lay down. I was like, who gave that motherfucker a Ruger? Someone take that thing away from him. So I knew he carried pepper spray when he was out and about because there's a chance he could get accosted just for yelling at people.
Yeah,
but I didn't know he was carrying a piece, which would explain his overinflated sense of confidence when he's approaching strangers, telling them that they're crazy, that the earth is flat, shit like that. If they, if someone pulls something, he can defend himself lethally, if need be, or who knows, he may pull it when he doesn't need to. But yeah, the notion that he is armed, that he is walking around out there armed, is kind of freaky. But it also is like a big piece of the puzzle. Yeah, it explains a whole lot of his behavior. So take that as you will, but we saw some real stupid people, some real stupidity. Some dude who thinks that ancient igneous lava formations are actually the skin of giants. And some jackass who was regurgitating bad science that he heard from someone else and talking about, meteorites are actually pieces of the dome falling off, and just a range of idiocy.
What?
Yes.
Golly.
Very, very stupid shit.
So I asked in in the Shills chat, he doesn't have the strength to use a gun. No, I don't know. I don't know, Demon. I don't know if he has the strength to use a gun. 'Cause that dude does not look healthy at all. I just mean like physically, he doesn't look healthy.
Yeah, Irish Demon. The video was done by him, and you can see it again if you pop over to and you watch the Shills show. But it was literally a little clip. It was like just I think it's just a little over a minute. But he's got a mask and he's got a gun, and he's talking about which one is the better protection. And obviously, he's alluding to the fact that he's alluding to the gun. But yes, he is in possession of a firearm.
I mean, this is why I advocate for a little bit stricter background checks. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, yes. Having come up and for a little bit of background on me. I'm an Eagle Scout, and was 10 years in the Boy Scouts of America. But my Scoutmaster was a bit unorthodox.
Yeah.
So instead of like going out and doing like fishing campouts and like learning how to not tying camp out, we did stuff like rappel off Devil's Tower camp out.
That's cool.
Spend a weekend on in Fort Hood camp out.
Oh wow,
that kind of stuff. And so we did really because my Scoutmaster Jim Wolf was a 22, 23-year Army Ranger, and dude was an absolute badass, and we got to do a lot of really cool unorthodox stuff. With him being our Scoutmaster, and one of the things we did is we did firearms. We got to deal with firearms. So I'm not a fan of them because one, they're extraordinarily dangerous, and two, I think it makes people lazy. And not everybody. There are people who have respect for them, but I think for the vast majority of people who own them, it makes them lazy and it makes them overconfident, which is really, really dangerous.
So it's kind of funny you say that. I'm going to piggyback on that real quick to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
There was a study done. I think it was done in Florida. They were talking about people who actually went through the bullshit CHL training.
Yeah.
And they were less likely to wield their firearm with basic safety shit. Like they would leave them out on the fucking counter. What they found is that these people who went through these training courses thought, because I went to this training course, it's safe. Now I can just do whatever I want, and they were more lackadaisical with them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Then like I said, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of self-sufficiency, of personal hand-to-hand combat. I'm actually more of a knife fan than I am of a gun fan, because a knife requires a lot more work and a lot more training to utilize successfully, both as a tool and as a weapon. But I don't think that they're good for the vast majority of the population, because like I said, it makes people lazy. They think they can simply, they use the firearm as a crutch instead of as a tool. And then, having this thing that can deal out death so quickly, it gives them an overinflated sense of confidence. They end up taking risks that they shouldn't be taking.
Right.
And they either wind up getting someone else killed, or they get themselves killed. And, I'm for universal stringent background checks. I'm actually very much in favor of what Australia did after that last mass shooting that they had. And I know Irish Demon probably knows a bit about that, but I'm in favor of hardcore, very, very strict controls, because we have a great many people who have respect for firearms, know how to use them, they have the training, and they know that their place in certain situations. We have far too many people who simply don't, or they simply do not care.
Right. And I don't want to, I want to be anti-America Day. So we're going to get off the firearm thing, because, it's America Day, America, or some shit. Yeah. Natalie Thompson has a gun. That's frightening. Wow. Jessica G, you're so kind, says the best radio voice in the game.
Thank you.
And the best voice in horror at J.L.Warren. I agree. So here's the thing. If all of you listening haven't subscribed to J.L. Warren's Weekend Horror Podcast channel, do so. If you like horror films like I do, it's a wealth of information. It's a lot of fun to listen to these three idiots go on about, nerd out about fucking just all things horror. It's awesome. Bella Charge, what's up? What up, bitches? What's up, Bella Charge? Hey, buddy. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Knife equals hurty. Someone who uses a knife wants to hurt someone. Outlaw Jur, yes, I will. Yes, that is true. However, it's also, you have to want to. You have to mean it, right? I mean, you can't accidentally hurt somebody with it, and you can't accidentally get whatever, but you really have to, man, do I want to get into this? Because, I'm probably going to get cut, as well as the person who I'm trying to cut. So there's that thing, that thought process that goes into it that doesn't go into it necessarily with a pistol or firearms. Like, oh, I just blast your
With
brain.
a pistol, psychologically, people can disassociate because you never, when you pull the trigger, it's loud, but you never see the bullet. And the wound is sometimes, unless you're using a large caliber weapon, the wound is often small with a 9 millimeter, something smaller. With a knife, the knife is visible. You can see it. You see that it's sharp.
Right.
And the idea of being penetrated in that fashion, whether it be fatal or non-fatal, is very, very scary because your mind can process the entire thing. So knives are more psychologically scary,
Exactly.
unless if you have to defend yourself. But if you're familiar with them, I've been working with them since I was, I think, 6, and virtually every single kind of knife that you can think of. And I like them better as tools. They're fantastic tools. One of the greatest tools that have ever been invented. But they're pretty fantastic for combat as well.
Yeah, so there is one thing that I always kind of like, the thing that like just grinds my gears when people talk about firearms. They want to talk about, well, it's a tool. It's a tool. No, it is not. A firearm is not a tool. It is a weapon, and it needs to be respected as a weapon. Okay. People say, well, you can kill somebody with a hammer. That's true. You can kill somebody with a hammer, but a hammer's main function isn't to kill people. It's to build things. It's to
I
hit
can also
nails.
pull nails out with it. But you ever try to pull nails out with a 9 mil?
Exactly. You shoot them out. Pow.
Construction done.
Yeah, man. Fuck this building up, man. Oh man. Anyway, so let's have some fun.
But you just reminded me. So you said you were talking about my podcast, Week in
Yes.
Horror.
Yes.
One thing I have to say, I am particularly proud of this episode that is going out tomorrow. Occasionally, we do the vast majority of our episodes. We try not to talk about the same stuff over and over again, but there are only so many themes that you can digress. So typically we go into a lot of the stuff, behind the scenes, little trivia that people might know. But on occasion, we have an episode that comes along that allows us to ask really, really difficult questions and talk about really, really deeper stuff. Like with Sleepaway Camp and the kind of image of transgenderism at the time in the 80s.
Yes.
And how utilizing that as a horror trope and how society has changed from that point. But it's still often used as a horror trope, and it shouldn't be. But we talked about that last year. But this was a really good one. We got a chance to really talk about the female form, the female form, and the kind of dissociation that men have from the female form, just by virtue of being different, just different anatomies in that respect, and that kind of that subconscious alien nature, or the alienation between a man and a woman, kind of reinforces the idea of having the female form as a horror trope, the idea of female procreation, of pregnancy, of
what films did you do this go around?
We touched on 2 of them. We touched on Species, and we touched on Contracted.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So both of them were very, very heavy in creating a horrific version of the female form, one that men should be scared of, one that it is both alluring. It's alluring to you, but it will kill you if you get too close. We found a lot of similarities with the Greek myths of the sirens, where I think is where this kind of idea of the negative portrayal of women was, that women lure you in and they make you vulnerable, and then they take you down. So we got to do a huge, huge deep dive into this stuff. We don't often get to do cool shit like that, or have cool conversations, but I think a lot of our audience out there will really, really appreciate it.
Well, I think that a lot of people need to look at horror films as more of a over sensationalized look at societal norms or the conversations that go on in horror film. That's what really drew me in. Like science fiction and horror film, it's not about like plot or storyline. Some of them are really good, mind you, but it's more about the things that they're commenting on. Like when you talk about Sleepaway Camp and how we're talking about transgenderism and just the stereotypes that people who were going through that kind of transgender awakening that happened in probably the late 70s,
I would say,
and then started carrying on through, like the struggles they went through with identity. But yeah, I mean, I love those. I love those conversations. I love the conversations that are happening. Sometimes they're misguided, right? So sleepaway camp kind of. I didn't like the fact that they took like the 50s PSA look on homosexuality or transgenderism. You know what I mean? Did you ever see
Agreed.
that? Did
Yep.
you ever see that one? That 50s PSA about the homosexual?
I believe that may have come up on a Last Week Tonight with John Oliver at one point, but I'd have to watch it again.
It
A
was
lot of uh
atrocious.
Oh, I imagine that it was that the one of the worst ones I ever saw was a '70s one. It was a '70s one with Jonathan Banks about I think about premarital sex, and there was a thing in there where they were talking about women's menstruation,
Oh yeah.
and it was so absolutely atrocious because I think it was so bad. It was this. It's basically Jonathan Banks and this girl are bowling, and he's thinking to himself, "Man, Susie's really good. What the heck? Has she been practicing?" He's like, "Susie, you're doing pretty good tonight." "Well, I am on my period."
Oh my
What the
god.
fuck?
Wow.
So yeah, I'm familiar with that kind of insane
Jeez.
shit.
Well, yeah. So on the along the same lines of that, like that 1950s PSA about
Mm.
the homosexual is like he's this fucking pedophile who's going to hang out and try and lure young boys to rape them. I'm like, what?
Equating homosexuality with pederasty.
With
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Oh, Dick Dawson says can't join. Every time I try and log into Skype, it says something went wrong. Tried resetting, pass and all, nothing will work. Fucking Skype. Well, damn it.
Skype, you had one fucking
You have
job.
one fucking job to do, Skype, and that's to let Dick Dawson on the show, and you can't do that. Fuck you, Skype. Don't turn us off right now. We're in the middle of a conversation. But yeah, I mean, those things, man, that was just like, come on, man. I just can't believe I mean, I can't believe it because of the prudish nature of this country, especially.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I think one thing that really bugged people, a particular one movie in particular was The Witch. Came out 2018, and that one, I think that one has to be one of the most grounded and most realistic depictions of the kind of foundation of American or foundation of the colonial mentality at the time, the puritanical viewpoint, the puritanical worldview that came over to this country and established it. That America is so, and it's crazy to think, given Americans' love for pornography, given all kinds of shit, but we are a intensely prudish country when it comes to the notions of sex. We can as much extreme violence as you want, but you can't show titties
Oh
on
yes.
on TV. My mind was blown the first time I saw like breasts on a YouTube like a YouTube thing. Like I was watching a Friday the 13th fan film, and I actually saw titties in this film on YouTube. And I was like, "Holy shit, YouTube titties!" And I was 39 at the time. Why am I freaking out? That no, that's how prudish we are. That's how ingrained it is in this nation.
Oh
And
yeah.
those puritanical foundation is one of the driving forces that the horror genre has latched onto, because all the rules of horror that we know from Scream and watching all these horror movies and all those tropes, they all stem back to violations of that puritanical of those puritanical values that we're founded on. You violate those, you're going to get killed, you're going to go to hell, or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And usually the pure one, the virgin, like that, as we see in Cabin in the Woods, that she's the girl who gets away, or she's the last to die in that kind of respect. But yeah, it's those puritanical values that have us,
Yes.
one, all fucked up, and two, pretty much inspire everything we do.
And I want to kind of riff on what Mike Raptor said in the live chat. Says kids are more likely to be sexually abused by a family member than a random gay person. That is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
This is 100% true. There's no such. There's a reason why everybody has that one uncle. Why that's a traveling joke, because it's fucking true. Yes, I know, Bella Charge. With a good virtual mixer, I could do all that stuff. I know. I'm a terrible person, Bella Charge. I know. I need to do it, though. One of these days, I'll actually sit down and put some more money into the live stuff. Right now, it sucks. This shit's expensive. And, yeah, it is what it is. I'll get there eventually. Hi, Glober Mom. Cy Strikeling, yeah. Hey,
What's
how
up,
you
Cy
doing?
Strikeling?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Why did that suddenly remind me of Sean Hawkins? Who, okay, I don't know how familiar you are with some of the people in the debunking community. But I for a while there, I was getting Sean Hufford mixed up with Sean Hawkins.
I did too for a little bit,
And
very briefly.
Sean Hufford is the God voice.
Yes.
If in the chat, am I correct about that? Sean Hufford is the voice of God
Yes.
and the lovely flowing locks.
Yes. With the
Okay,
birds
cool.
that are always making
With the
fun of
birds,
team.
yes,
They're
he's got the
always
bird.
making
Okay.
the birds are always making fun of team skeptics' inability to whistle.
Yes, that's it. And so Sean Hawkins was kind of trolling me a little bit because I made the comment that it was like, because I said the debunking community, and Sean Hawkins was like, well, how do I become a part of the debunking community? And I just commented offhand, it was like, well, you got to ask Team, he holds the keys. And it was an off the cuff remark because Team is who got me into this. I was watching his stream. He said he was coming out to Frisco to do the Flat Earth International Conference. Said if anybody wanted to help out or do anything, just message him. So I messaged him, said, hey, I'm free that day. I'll come out to Frisco and give you a hand. Maybe they need help moving equipment or they need help talking to people. I don't freaking know. Maybe he just needs a hand. So I was like, hey, I'll be an extra body for you. And that's how I met Team. And then from then on, that's how this whole thing has progressed with me eventually making YouTube content and being a part of the actual YouTube community, which I never thought would happen. Just saying, hey, I'll help out one day. That's just how crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
But apparently he was very salty because I referenced him to Team. It was like, Team's got the keys. He holds the keys. He's the one who opened the door for me. And Hawkins was like, please, that's a joke. Team, blah, blah, blah. And he was saying some shit. I don't need to repeat
I think there's
it,
some bad blood between those two.
I'm guessing so. And I walked right the fuck into it. I had no idea.
Yeah. Cy Striking says those are her birds. Well, whose ever birds they are. They make fun of Team Skeptic every time, and I fucking laugh every time. It seems as if every single... Well, not no. I mean, I'm sure the birds know that when they say whistle, that they start whistling in the background. Every time Team starts to whistle, or wait, every time Team starts to blow on his soda bottle, that's when the birds start whistling.
I was interesting question. I want to ask a question in the chat. This is just live chat. This is just for my own edification. It's Independence Day, and right before the call, when we were doing prep before we went live, I was watching the scene from Independence Day, the big speech. Today we celebrate our Independence Day.
Yep.
I want to know from the chat, everybody in the chat, 1, if that speech is fucking awesome. 2, if that speech blows ass.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who remembers that one? I often forget how much older I am than the people that work for me. So I'll be like, fucking Top Gun came on. I was like, oh, Top Gun's on. That's cool. Even though I can't stand the little guy, the little fucking, I love this woman. I love this woman. Let me jump on a couch. I can't stand that fucking idiot.
There's an interesting story about him once you get a chance. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. But they're like, what's Top Gun? And I just stopped what I was doing. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I realized they're all like 20 years old and shit. Fucking hell.
Interesting story about Tom Cruise, and probably why you don't like him. Now, you may actually know this, but the live chat may not, is that Christian Bale, when he signed on with Mary Harron to do American Psycho, he was having difficulty finding the character to portray it. So after a few weeks, and he just was not having any luck. This Christian Bale is a very talented individual, and he just couldn't find the character of Patrick Bateman until one day he was at home and he saw an old interview with Tom Cruise when he was on David Letterman. And he was looking at him, and occasionally the camera would go and show Tom, and it was something that struck him. And Christian Bale saw, I was like, holy shit, how Tom Cruise can just like effortlessly smile and emote like that with absolutely nothing behind his eyes. Absolutely blank. And Christian Bale said, that's it. That is the performance. So what you're seeing is Christian Bale channeling Tom Cruise to be Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, which is pretty slick.
And it's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise is Psycho.
I would hazard to say he probably has antisocial personality disorder, given what I've heard of his behavior on sets. He definitely is a narcissist, given that he's in his 50s and he's still doing his own stunts. Again, he refuses to let anybody else do them.
Yeah.
And I would say probably psychopathic or maybe even sociopathic tendencies. Is that probably and we never see him at Home Alone. Obviously, he's always in the spotlight. But at Home Alone, I'd say he's probably that. The only person who would know really is Katie Holmes, because she lived with him.
Yeah. Well, Katie Holmes and what was his first wife? What is her name? Golly.
Oh, and Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. Yeah, and Penelope Cruz.
Oh, they dated for a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It was weird. Cruz versus Cruz. It just seems wrong.
That was strange. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Penelope Cruz. I know it's spelled different, but
So it's ugly German truth. So it's American Scientologist, not psycho.
yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Very much.
Yes. And again, American Scientologist and American Psycho are interchangeable at any time, regardless of if you're talking about Tom Cruise or not. So, yeah.
Oh, Microraptor breaks my heart. I don't remember the speech well enough to have an opinion.
Well, that tells you right there that it's that your opinion is a number 2.
Oh,
Not
I'm
your
so
opinion.
old.
Not your opinion, but your opinion would equate to a number 2, because if you don't remember it, then obviously it sucked. I mean, but if you think about it, if you think about the greatest speeches of all time, like if I were to said Martin Luther King, first thing, I have a dream. Yes, everyone remembers that. If I say Neil Armstrong, one small step for man. You know what I mean? There's those iconic things that you won't forget.
Oh, the JFK. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Exactly. And then if I say Independence Day, it was like Will Smith.
No, Bill Pullman.
Yeah, no, I know who it is. I know it's Bill Pullman, but that's the point. People don't think Bill Pullman when they think Independence Day.
Bill Pullman. Yeah, they think of Will Smith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Glover Mom says, I love the speech in Independence Day. I said that on my birthday.
Nice.
Yes, ugly German truths. I know that Tom Cruise actually 100% believes the Scientology stuff. He's psychotic. He's insane. And then the thing that kills me the most is that L. Ron Hubbard is, like, his claim to fame outside of Scientology is the author who has written the most fiction of all time. Like, the most works of fiction. L. Ron Hubbard is credited as the creator of the most fiction. Yet, here he is with Scientology, and people are taking that shit like it's fucking gospel.
Yeah. The only thing that I could say, the only positive, and there is virtually nothing positive about Scientology, is that Scientologists don't really have a presence as far as doing like missionary work or spreading their gospel. So they're
cultish.
They're cultish. They're extreme inclusivity.
Yes.
Basically kind of it narrows down their targets as to who they want as a part of the cult.
You gotta have money.
Yeah, which means that Scientologists are not out there in front of schools, in front of high schools, on college campuses,
right,
protesting or trying to lure people in with their pamphlets or their fucked up doctrines. They're not doing what a lot of religions out there are doing. Now, they are a cult. They are absolutely classified as a cult. They do conform to the bite methodology. So if people are not not familiar with that, you can look it up. There's some really interesting stuff in how the federal government classifies something to be a cult. The bite method is one of those big things. Yeah, they're nuts. I don't believe the leadership, like the up leadership, really believes it. I believe it is a scam.
Oh yeah.
Ultimately, but Tom Cruise, I've heard he's pretty much down the rabbit hole. But at least they're not out there spreading their L. Ron Hubbard Xenu bullshit and trying to lure people in en masse. At least they're not doing that. So they keep to themselves, which at least and they're not committing mass suicide, or as far as we know, they're not out there just like, murdering people.
Right.
We don't. There's a lot of mystery there. There's a lot of behind closed doors. Leah Remini did not have a lot of positive things to say about them, but she also didn't allude to a lot of really, really ugly sexual or violent shit that
Yeah.
goes down. So just a lot of psychological bullshit.
Oh yeah. Real quick, Side Striking, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you hanging out. Good night. We'll see you next time. But back to
Later,
Lee
so
Remning.
Clean.
Yeah, back to Lee Remning. I think she got out right before like the serious bullshit happened.
I think so.
Like
It was
she,
right after like the what's his name? Oh God, I used to know his name. Tav, no.
oh the was the report? Not,
McTavish, no. Tavish, no.
I can't remember
Anyway,
his name either, but I
one of
know
the
who you're
leads.
talking about.
Yeah, one of the lead guy, his wife like disappeared, and it was rumored that she was being sequestered on some compound that they have, and nobody knew because she just kind of like vanished, and nobody was reacting to her having vanished.
Yeah.
So, and it was like right around that time that Leah got out of it. Her interview on Joe Rogan was incredible.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that kind of like when she was describing her ascension, when she decided that she'd had enough, and her parents were there looking at her like it was the greatest thing in the world that happened, and she was looking at all these people like, "You guys are fucking crazy."
She's so awesome. I love her to death. I
Yeah.
mean, just the strength it took for her to break out of that and to come forward, and that just goes to show. I mean, that's. I think she's Italian, isn't she?
She has to be with that attitude.
With that attitude, yeah. If she was Italian, I think
Sicilian.
she
She's
was.
probably Sicilian.
I think she's Brooklyn raised.
Yeah.
So
Let's
I think
look it up.
at least I know she's New York raised. So yeah, she's legit. Don't fuck with Leah Remini.
No,
Don't
she'll
fuck
fuck
with
your
her,
world
man.
up.
She'll fuck your world up.
I mean, let's see here. Let's see if it gives me. Oh, Bensonhurst, New York. So she is. Yep. Like, it's probably Sicilian.
Is she? Yeah.
Let me look. Let me look. Austrian Jewish descent. Yep, a father who's Italian ancestry rooted in Sicily. So yeah,
Boom.
yep. See, that's that mafia
She's
connection right there.
she's so awesome. I got such respect for
So Glover Mom says Chris Shelton was a former Scientologist. He has a channel and talks about it. I'm curious. I am curious to kind of look into that stuff because, I mean, as my like very surface level debunking, if you will, because I don't really call myself a debunker. I'm a point and laugher.
her.
I hit on fucking what's his name, Plastic Face, the little dummy. What is his name? Kenneth Copeland.
Oh yeah, Copeland. Yeah.
I hit on that dude, and then I hit on Jesse Duplantis, talking about the scammery of what they do, the full on fucking scams that they pull.
The shit was sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jesse Duplantis, I need 4 fucking private jets. Why? Why do you need
it's
four
sick
$50
because
million private jets?
because it's so fucking obvious. It's like, God damn
Yes.
it, guys. I mean, I can understand a scam artist. I can understand a greedy motherfucker, but at a certain point, you've got to have the self awareness where you realize that this has gone so far beyond the scope of what you could possibly need, and the world is looking at you going, "What the fuck are you doing with 4
Yeah.
goddamn private jets?"
The thing that kills me is not that he wanted 4 private jets. It's that his congregation gave him the money to get 4 private jets. What in the fuck?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there for anybody who doesn't watch Last Week Tonight, which I'm sure a lot of you probably do. John Oliver had several episodes that he dedicated to taking on televangelists. He paid particular attention to Creflo Dollar and
Yes.
really smacked him around and exposed him. And this, and then
If
he
I
also
believe God's for a $50 million plane, you can't stop me.
yes.
Fuck, dude.
And then
The sheer
he
arrogance.
broke down how ridiculously easy it is to actually form a church and get 501c3 to for that big tax write-off, that reverse what was I referring to? It's because they're not taxed by the government, but they're reverse federally subsidized because they get all these tax breaks, and then that money is utilized however they want it. So it's kind of like a reverse federal subsidy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kills me the most is that these people are operating a multi-billion-dollar industry that is 100% tax-free. They don't pay taxes on any of it. What the fuck? Do you know how much money we can make if we tax them at just the normal business tax rate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was just tax them like normal businesses.
Oh my
Churches
God.
are businesses is what they do. They take in money. That money is that money, or if they taken whatever the 10%, the 50%, or whatever people want to get, you chalk that up at the end of the week. You pay your taxes on that, and then they use that to cover their operating costs. And you pay taxes on all the other shit that you buy as well. If you pay taxes on your utilities, you pay taxes on your property, on the property itself. You pay everything that you owe, everything. Let them operate like a normal fucking business.
Exactly.
Okay. And then that's it. And then you can enjoy the corporate. And that's the whole big thing, is that they're so much smaller than massive multi-billion-dollar corporations that those tax loopholes that exist, that those fuckers crawl through, will not apply to churches.
Right.
Which is an excellent thing, and which is a good thing. And then so they would keep their congregations would be tight. They can do the thing, but let them fucking pay taxes. Let fucking Joel Osteen's church play fucking or
Jesus
pay fucking
Christ.
taxes. Let the Scientologists. The Scientologists pay taxes.
Right.
Could you imagine how much money they're dodging? How much they're dodging?
Absolutely. Fucking tax them assholes and put it to education. That'll solve a whole mess of problems. Oh man, did you see my latest Karen video?
I did see your latest. You're talking about the jackpot Karen.
Yes. So what did you think?
Yes, that one was great.
That lady's crazy.
Was fantastic, and you got to wonder, because for we're doing a show, for us to do a show, to hit every single conspiracy in one rant takes effort. That
Jesus
takes
Christ.
effort. That takes planning.
Yes.
You have to really put forth a concerted effort to hit every single one in a rant, and she did it just effortlessly. So I don't know where the stupid begins and the incredulity ends. So it's fucking crazy. But it was, every single person, every single idiot that appeared in that damn thing was hysterical. But that woman took the cake.
That first
she
one
was fantastic.
I mean, that shit fucking like went from 0 to a bazillion like that.
Yes,
she gets up there, hello family, because that's what we all are. We're family in here. I will fuck your world up because you're crazy motherfuckers that belong in the sack ward. Holy shit.
And what about Bill Gates? What about Hillary Clinton? Why aren't you locking up the pedophiles? Oh, because you're part of them? And I'm like, God damn, woman.
I mean,
do you really think Bill Gates and Hillary Clinton give a fuck about the Palm Beach, Florida community,
exactly,
city council? Are you out of your mind?
I just don't understand how the fuck Bill Gates and Hillary Clinton got fucking just lumped into that. You're mad about a mask policy. Where does Bill Gates come into this?
And we'll throw in microchipping, 5G.
Oh yeah.
The deep state.
Oh yeah.
And I'm surprised you didn't mention Pizzagate or some shit like that. So
yeah, Pizzagate, Deflategate, fucking all of them. Just get them all in there.
You fucking cheaters up there like Tom Brady.
Fucking Tom Brady.
Behind your mask.
With his squishy balls. I mean, holy shit.
There you go. Ugly German truths. QAnon and Soros fetishism. Oh, this is what it is. Like she didn't mention QAnon, but that's the effort to try and take down Trump. From what I remember reading,
Trump's doing it to himself. Trump's going to take himself down.
Oh yeah, he is. He absolutely is.
So yeah, we don't have to worry about that. We don't need QAnon for that one.
Ugly German truths. I like that. Soros fetishism. Yes, they are fetishizing the George Soros conspiracy. I like that. I may steal that.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, Dick Dawson, send me your Skype info. We'll get you on this one here. Well, maybe I'll look at my Skype info if I can find it. I never know how to work. You know what? I'm not stupid with this stuff. I don't sit down and take the time to really learn it like I used to. Fucking 20 years ago, I'd have known this shit oh man, you got to do this and this, that, boom, and just all of it. But yeah, nowadays, I'm like, fuck it. Just get it to where it works, and then that's good enough for me. So I guess I'm lazy.
Now, Commander Darklight, I had a chance to recently check out your Instagram. Really fucking cool shit. Really awesome work, dude. I wanted to check. I haven't looked at your channel. Do you do tutorials, like walkthrough tutorials of how you create your stuff?
Yeah,
because that would be badass.
Yeah, if you don't, you should. You really should. By the way,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to just say that, yeah, if you haven't seen Commander Darklight's Instagram, his builds, fuck me running. That shit is awesome.
Fuck yeah, and the reason I asked because there are precious few, like legit tutorials that can teach you how to deal with the types of carving foam that you're dealing with. And I know it's some kind of PCR. I can't remember the name of it, but either way, I know probably got that wrong. But there are so few videos that walk you through that literally legitimately teach you how to do this stuff. And most people are going through a trial and error. They're trying to figure out themselves. I know you probably did a trial and error, but videos like that would explode because there's so many people out there who would love to cosplay, who would love to create really cool shit, but they do not. It's not that they don't have the resources; they just don't have the time to sit here and trial and error, nickel and dime their way to becoming an expert. They probably need a solid foundation to begin with, which would be really cool. I don't know if you do things like that, like if you were to do like a series on creating your Halo armor, the Master Chief armor, that would be sweet.
Oh, hello.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I was Skype is bitching at me about my microphone. I hate Skype. Plot hole. What are you doing to me, dude? Okay, sorry, dude. Keep going.
It's what I'm doing to myself, Dick.
Hey, Dick, what's up?
Oh man, I'm sorry to cut in like that, but holy God, I'm so out of my element here right now. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's all good. It's a celebration. Enjoy yourself.
Good. Oh, grid view. I found it. Oh, it didn't work though. Damn it. Okay. I'll figure it out in the background. But hello, everybody. How you doing? We had a great time on the Shills tonight. Ripped some stupid apart. Absolute great time. I really want to get into some of this religious talk and whatnot, and money and financing. That was awesome. I got something, but give me a second to figure out how to make it so I can follow along on Skype properly. Because holy God, I'm a fish out of water right now.
No problem. As a matter of fact, I'm going to step and I'm going to grab something, and I will be right back. So I'll let Dick get settled, and then we'll carry on.
Hey, we got PhD Tony in the background. All right, buddy. What's up?
What's up, Dr. T?
That's right. I'm going to get you on the show. I'm going to schedule you for the show one of these days, but I'm working. This is what I need from you, Dr. T. I need to know what your area of expertise is, like your specific area. I know you're what's it? Was this at Dick Dawson? Yep. Okay. I'm sorry. I know you've got like a broad science. I want to know what your area of expertise is because I'm working on putting a quiz together, and I'm going to try and stump you on the plot hole. We're going to see if we can make that happen. So yeah, what is your area of expertise? I'm going to see if my research methods are better or as good as they used to be whenever I was actually in my discipline of researching. We'll see. So Dick, it's good to have Dick on the show. Everybody say hi to Dick.
Hello. How's it going, buddy? It's good to be chatting with you again.
Oh man, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to have you on the show. One of these days I will get on the Shills because I love what you guys do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got to book that sooner rather than later. But also, we've got to book you on the pub chat where never mind the debunking. We just sit down and get into what it's like to be YouTubers, creators, debunkers, and all around people. Because I think you got a lot to say, and I really want to get into it.
So PhD Tony says glacial ice. I can't even read that because I'm blind. Holy shit. That's going to be a challenge. Let me write that shit down. But that will be a challenge for me to be able to research that up. So
we had PhD Tony on the Shills After Show over on Cheesemondo's channel, and we had an absolutely brilliant conversation. And within 10 minutes, we knew that we were booking him on both the Shills and Pub Chat. This guy has a lot to say, and he backs it up with serious intelligence. Love him. Absolutely great.
Yes, he's a wealth of information. He's one of the nicest guys, except when he's drunk. Like the other, what was it? A couple of weeks ago when he and Flat Earth Ozzy Jesus were on, and they were both drunk, going at each other. The one that 8-hour stream. That was fun. It was fun looking at two Aussies fucking pissed and just going at each other. Hang on a second. Slow down, chat.
Are you talking?
What's up?
Are you talking about when what's his name? Rumpus went after Ozzy Roscoe.
No,
Or Ross?
no. I'm talking about when PhD Tony.
Oh yes. God, that stream went forever.
It did. I went to bed and it got back up and it was still going. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Dick Echo. Fuck.
Yeah, everybody's saying in the chat I got a lot of echo, so I just went to my voice meter and everything, and I think I've got everything set 100%. And I did go to audio engineering school, so if everybody can tell me whether or not I'm echoing right now, that would be very helpful.
Am I echoing too?
Hang on a second. Let me get this fixed. It's on me. So the way that this pipes audio in is so stupid. So if I have two people on Skype call, it pipes everybody into the same audio because it's both Skype. So let's just do this.
Plot, are you using voice meter?
No, I'm using Streamlabs.
Oh, Plot, voice meter's free. PM me tomorrow, please.
We'll do.
Please. Okay.
Let's see. You say something, Dick.
Hey, fellow babies, Dick Dawson on the air live. That was so cheesy. Wow.
That should have taken care of. That should have taken care of the echo. So, John Rapp, what's up, buddy? Here, this is for you.
I love John.
John Rapp, you're an awesome.
Everybody, give John the official greeting, please.
Official John Rapp greeting.
Yep. Guests are booming with slight echo. John Rapp, I think I fixed it. So, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Thank you, Ugly German Truths.
Echo gone. All right. Yes, I know. One of these days, I'm going to figure out live streaming. I promise. I promise all of you. I'll figure this out, and it'll be much, much nicer and safer place or some shit like that.
If you want to have a 1 hour live chat with Boole, myself, and Taddy, we can go through some serious crap, man.
Yeah.
Right? I've got two of the best on my team, right, brother? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I need to like really put into this because it's easy for me to do the I normally do audio. That's how the plot hole started, was audio only. So that part's easy. But this virtual mixer, the Streamlabs business, all this shit, it's it's new to me. So yeah, it's new. I'll learn it. I remember going through it in the beginning big time. Yeah. And one of the things that I had behind me huge was the fact that I went to audio engineering school back in the early 90s. So we were switching from analog to digital. We still had Atari ST computers in the studio and whatnot, right? And I have such a grounding to it. It just comes to me naturally, right? Yeah, I remember those days. Those were fun. Those are good old days. I still have my ADATs. Like when they first went to. Do you? Yeah, I've got my ADATs of the very first record that I recorded. I've got to find an ADAT converter so I can get those tape and actually put it digitally and then go back in there and like remaster. Plot hole. My buddy down the road from me has one. If you ship me those up, I can send you back proper. No problem. And I guarantee they will be treated like gold. You're damn right I will. So send me your shipping address and I'll do that next week. Yeah. We've got to do this, right? We've got to do this. I still have my Atari ST because of the fucking zero latency MIDI ports, right? Yeah. I still use it, man. You two are so cute when you're happy. So Taddy Boogle says, don't let him kid you. Dick Dawson meant the 60s, not the 90s. Look, sometimes our dyslexia and our number flipping just happens to take over, and we say 90s and we mean 60s. Just let it ride. Let it ride. maybe 1890s. Holy shit. Well, I got to say, Dick Dawson, you look great for 100 years old. Yeah. Well, up in Canada, we have the tragically hip, but we also have the tragically old, and I am the latter. So it's all right. I mean, you either get old or you get dead. So I just got an update as to the party situation here in Dallas, here in the DFW area. So for those who don't know, Dallas is putting up record numbers of the bug that's going around of the stuff. But apparently Lake Louisville is absolute chaos right now
totally, absolutely packed. No one is wearing a mask, and it's all friggin' crazy out there, just packed to the gills, and nobody can do nothing about it. So
yeah. So there's a club that's right around the corner. Well, it used to be one of my band's home clubs that we played, that are participating in, I don't know what the fuck to call it, a protest. It's not even a protest. It's so stupid. We're going to open because we have to. No, you don't. You don't have to. Most staff can't feed themselves. Yeah, they have unemployment that's hasn't ended yet. They're still sending you money. This is bullshit. I get it. It sucks that bars shut down, and I don't know whether or not I agree with the way that they're shutting these bars down. But here's the thing: if you fuckers could, I don't know, self-regulate yourselves, then we wouldn't have had to do this shit. But you weren't doing that. You were just letting people come in and out, no masks, no social distancing, nothing.
Well, I think it's twofold. It's people not being responsible, obviously, but it is also compounded by the fact that the governor that we opened the state too early. And when they did that, when Abbott did that, the individuals who were too young to really give a shit, these individuals took that as a sign that it was not as serious as people were saying that it was. We reopened. If it was so serious, we would have stayed closed. We
should have stayed closed.
We still should have, but we didn't.
Right.
So the vast majority of people are going to sit here and go, "Oh, it's not that serious." If it were, we would have stayed closed. But we reopened, so it's obviously not that bad. So fuck it, we can do whatever the hell we want.
Right.
And now we're putting up, Dallas is putting up like 1,100 cases a fucking day, and I think we're like second or third in the nation now for cases. It's just. What the fuck? Yeah, now they've just instituted, I think it was yesterday or the day before. It was either Friday or Thursday. They instituted a statewide mandatory masks for everyone, wherever you go, every business.
Yes.
Everyone's got to wear them. So, and now all the businesses that I go to, because I run to the corner store a lot. Every 7-Eleven, every single QT, they all have signs of that mask required to enter.
Oh man!
So expect more Karen videos.
Oh yes, I here's the thing: the place that I work, we've been open. We closed down for 2 weeks. The company that I work for closed down nationwide for 2 weeks, then slowly started reopening, like 2 stores in our area, and then they May? I think it was May 1st. They just opened up for business, like back to business May 1st. But we had it was company wide. You had to wear a mask. At first, we were keeping the doors locked and only letting certain people at the time, or meeting people at the door and seeing what we could do to help them at the door. When we first opened up, it was service only. Like if you had issues going on with your device, then we'd take care of that. There was no sales. But when we reopened, it was like, okay, cool. Now we have to let people in the store. And the company I worked for was, no, let them all in the store. I don't care. Just let them in. But tell them they have to socially distance and they have to stand 6 feet apart. Put these stickers on the ground where people have to stand and make them adhere to that. Well, people don't do that.
But we can't police it.
Right.
You can't police it. Yeah.
And that's the thing. They would tell us, well, you can't, you be polite about it. But if they refuse, I'm like, well, fuck that shit. I'm going to tell them, hey, this is how it is. You either stand here or you get the fuck out. Period.
Yeah. We're having some problems with that up here as well. There is seriously clear defined standing and queuing and getting line points and whatnot. And we have some people that will not respect them. And you've got a few people like myself who will say, hey, what the hell's your problem? And wow, does it cause a big brouhaha where the entire freaking retail establishment is standing there going, would you listen to this guy who's getting angry at you right now? Because I'm right.
Yeah. We had this jackass come in the other day. I was in the back grabbing a device for one of my employees. Come out, handed the device, and this fool's at the door. We all have masks on. He doesn't. He's at the door. He walks in and says, hey, well, you guys have masks on. Are you trying to rob somebody? I thought he was just trying to be funny. Yeah, okay. And I was like, yeah, me. I said, yeah, everybody I get, every chance I get. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm one of them. Did you know that wearing masks? He started trying to like fucking go into this diatribe about what masks do and what they don't do. I'm like, sir, I'm not here to argue with you about masks. You need to put one on if you want to come in the store. And he's all, I'll just go to a different T-Mobile. Oh shit. Whoops. I'll just go to a different store. Forget I said that. I did not say that.
You gotta look at it this way, right? If the mask is only on to protect others from yourself, and you think that's a bad thing, then we don't want you in public. So just fuck right off.
Exactly.
You can get everything you need via DoorDash or via Amazon drop shipping. So if you don't want to deal with it, fucking stay in your house, have everything shipped to your fucking house, and you'll be good to go. You'll save what you save in gas. You'll just pay that in shipping costs. So just handle it fucking that way.
Right. And here's the thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Finish your thought. The place where I work, unfortunately, because I work near the around Dallas Carrollton area. And that area is not super conducive to being like, hey, why aren't you wearing a mask? Because most likely you either get stabbed or shot.
Right.
So I can't, but I see it myself. I go on lunch and I run to the 7-Eleven or I run over to just, the racetrack or the QT real quick to grab something. And, there's people milling around, don't have masks on. All the employees do. But, there are people walking around, no mask whatsoever, doing the same nasty shit that they usually do, touching things with their bare hands. Stuff like that. So, unfortunately, I wish I could say something, but I don't want to end up on a different.
Certain areas are a little bit more dangerous than others. For certain. But I just don't understand why people make a big shit about it. You tell me I want to do shopping. I have personal items that I want to get. Well, here's what you do, bitch. Order that shit online, have it sent to you. It's that simple.
Shelly Lewis.
Yeah, fuck that bitch. Stupid cunt.
Shelly, if you happen to be listening, well, you won't, but if you ever happen to hear this, we've seen what you have, and we've seen better. We don't care.
Yeah, right?
No one gives a shit that you need Vagisil or you need shit for your junk because everyone else needs that shit from time to time in their lives.
Plot hole said it right there. It's I need this. I.
Exactly.
It never comes down to we, and that is the problem.
It's a very selfish mentality. By the way, Dick, you can call me Johnny. You don't have to call me the plot hole.
I have to do that religiously because a few in our group want their screen names to be used, and as such, I cannot slip. Right?
No, I get it. I absolutely understand. I always ask my guests hey, how do you want me to address you? Because most everybody that comes on my show, I've got at least their first name. I understand. Want to make sure because anonymity is important to some people. To me, I don't give a fuck. It's going to happen eventually. I've already been doxxed a little bit, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, if anonymity mattered to me, would I be Dick Dawson? Because, seriously, right? I mean,
who would pick that name?
Bit of a game, right? But I am Richard at heart, right?
That was so weird. I felt so weird at the start of it. I was holding back when I was on the Shills. I was like, oh, this dude's like got this on lock. He sounds amazing. This is great. Do I call him Dick? They're like, hey, Dick. Hey, Dick. Because you got to watch your tone on that. Really, I mean, you come off sound, hey, Dick. It was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck, man?
I kept my mouth shut until I heard somebody else. Somebody else like, hey, Dick. And you're like, yeah, what's going on? I was like, okay, cool. I can call him Dick.
Yep.
So someone broke the ice.
You're not the only one with that because a few people have been like, holy, that's almost uncomfortable, right? The sarcastic barman, when we first formed the Shills group that turned into the iNetwork and whatnot, he was like, can you use a different first name? Because from the UK, I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. And same with Monkey. And I was like, sorry, guys, fucking live with it, man.
Wait. Jut Monk, the drunk monk, had a problem calling you Dick?
Yeah, because it was personal to me. He wasn't saying you're a dick to a conspiratard. It was very different, right?
I gotcha.
Right?
Oh, yes. So, two things. Tatty Bogle. J.L.Truth, I've never needed Vagisil. Should I be worried?
No.
I don't know your sexual preference. I don't know, or your gender preference. If you have certain parts and you've never needed it, you're probably young. If you don't have certain parts, you probably will never need it in your life. So that should answer that question.
Hold on there. Let me jump in. Tatty is the premier producer on the Shills. He's my closest
that's right.
buddies. And when it comes to Vagisil, he rubs it on the insertion tool. So you got to read it from that way. Right?
Okay, gotcha. Tatty, I didn't know you well enough, but now I know you too well.
We're just,
we're getting
down to it. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, okay?
And what's up, NANA, to one of my awesome patrons, NANA.
Yeah,
is one of the
NANA, what's that about?
viewers
You can't even
to
you
the
can't
debunker
even.
channels. NANA should be revered as a god in the community.
Yes.
NANA is fun. I was about to give NANA a hard time until Dick Dawson made me feel bad about it by pumping it up. So NANA, good on you. Oh Jesus.
NANA, I will pedestal you. I will pedestal you all day long, because you are enabling us to eventually get to our end goals, which is doing live shows, doing live podcasts, and like horror conventions and shit, and eventually producing our own original horror content, like short films and actual films. You're helping us get to that point. So I will always put you up on a golden pedestal, my friend.
The plot hole Dick test 1 2 3. Oh, it's here. Good job. Oh man.
Dick, Taddy says that you are speaking from experience.
Let's see. Well, same general area at Ugly German Truth. So I must have missed something. Harry sounds balls. Yep.
I am speaking from experience, but as the insertion tool, I was trying to give him the other side of it. I was being a friend and a fellow shill, but yeah, sorry, Taddy. You are my dartboard, bitch.
So Dick is Amy, because I don't know everybody too terribly well. I'm still learning where everybody's from. Amy's from America, right?
Yes, she is.
Okay, cool. So I wasn't the only
technically
American on the show today.
Technically,
no.
Hang on a second. Technically, Dick Dawson's from America too.
No.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes,
this
you
isn't
are.
going to go well.
Wait a minute. What country do you hail from?
Canada, baby.
America.
Canada.
Oh my God.
It's the American continent.
We burned down the White House. Do
American
not
continent.
make that distinction.
American continent.
Okay. But I'm going to ask.
What? To be honest, if it wasn't for the leaders of our countries, we are the exact same people. And damn near we should be one. Because if you go across Canada from coast to coast, we have differences that are the exact same as America, right? And we are so unbelievably big that we literally are 5 or 6 countries jammed into one, right? And we are so similar, it's not funny. But the Canadian and American political systems have a divide, and that is the only thing that gives us distinction. Well, besides the fact that their beer is weak.
Whose beer is weak? Canadian beer? That's true.
I would say Molson is a little on the weaker side.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a few, but yeah, it's yours. It's go.
But Dick, I do have a question. There's something that's bugged me. I've never gotten the opportunity to like legit straight ask a Canadian. So many jokes you can make about Canadians. Is it true that Canadians are afraid of the dark?
Only in summer.
Okay, so I'm curious as to where that joke arises from. Because
actually, you know what? I don't know. It could be an age or a region thing, but I don't even know that one, to be honest. I've never heard it before. I don't know what to say here.
Okay, I'm just curious. Okay, the reason I'm asking is my wife and I are huge fans of a show called How I Met Your Mother, and one of the characters in one of the main characters of the show is Canadian, and they always make jokes about her upbringing, how she was brought up. She was a tomboy. She was brought up in the wild. She knows how to hunt, shoot guns, very unfeminine things. But there's a running gag throughout the 8 seasons of the show that Canadians are afraid of the dark. And one of the big scenes was they went to a Canadian bar and the lights accidentally went out and everybody screamed, but then the lights came back on and everyone was like, oh, okay. So, and I'm just curious, where does that joke stem from? I have no idea. I've never got a chance to ask a Canadian, if there's any reality to that.
You know what, dude? I wholeheartedly wish that I had the answer for you on this, because I would love to be the one to fulfill some hilarious response. But unfortunately, I don't get it at all. I have no idea.
That is a mystery that I pass on to you.
Well, you know what I'm going to do now is I have never watched How I Met Your Mother. So what I'm going to do is coming up, I'm going to A, watch the show, and B, Google why it's a Canadian joke, because I don't get it, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to figure it out. I am very much gonna. I would say it maybe has something to do with being so up north that we don't get night during summer and we only get night during winter. But I mean, that's a ridiculous joke, right? Because it's almost not Canada when you go up that far. You know?
There is that joke that that Canadian summer is pretty much the last week in July.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you know where I live, we get up to like 42°C in summer.
For all of you Americans out there, that's really fucking hot.
Yes. Right.
Okay, no, 42. Okay, someone look that up. 42°C.
Yeah, it's fucking hot.
It's like
You're gonna
what,
shit.
107, 107?
Yeah,
Is my
that's
math correct? Is my math correct? Yes, it is. 107.6.
We were at 112 on Thursday with the
Yes,
heat index.
I know. Well,
No,
that's what
no,
the heat
no.
index,
I'm not
but-
talking about no heat index. Raw temperature.
Oh,
People-
well, hang on a second there, Dick. We will get.
for at least a 30-day stretch in the peak of summer where
Yeah,
I
that's
live,
it.
and that's in Canada.
That's cute. In Texas,
We
fuck, man.
we say that's cute.
Yeah, but
there
that's
was one
in
year.
Canada. Look how
That's
much
true.
north.
That's true.
That
That's
is
true.
true.
But here in Texas, there was one time we went over 100 days straight. Every single day was somewhere in between 103 and 108.
Yeah.
Every single day for over 100 days, for over 3 months straight. Like our lakes almost vanished.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is intense, man.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was bad. It was bad.
I got a lake on either side of my town, and when we get to 42, 43 every summer, their levels go to, oh, thank God we can get back to normal, right? That's where we are, right?
I remember when that happened, when we went through that, one of our big lakes, Lake Louisville, dropped almost 16, 17 feet. And it was so low. There were some areas where you could literally just walk out where you normally would boat. But then all of a sudden the rain came, because the rain season always hits, in September or October. So the rain suddenly hit, and that just fucked everything up, because the lakes, after all these months of no water, everything filled up within like 3 weeks. And so this is what Texas does. It's so fucking bipolar. And then all the lakes filled up, and of course the excess water just flooding all over the place, people losing their homes and shit. This is the great state of Texas.
I love it.
I'm told that's not very nice to say bipolar. Everything's bipolar.
Well, the weather is bipolar. I can say that the
No.
weather in Texas is
No,
bipolar.
hold on a minute. I have an autistic child, and so does Amy Hogan in the chat right there.
Yeah,
and
I've got one as
using
well.
Bipolar as a reference to weather is not insulting to anybody at all.
Look, my wife is bipolar. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get
Yeah,
yelled
but
at.
that's
I
not a
don't want to get
reference to a
yelled at,
person.
Dick.
Oh, shit, now I hear this.
Okay, well then I will say I have long, for many, many years, I have long referenced the weather in Texas, having come from California. California was where I was born. I was born in San Diego. I grew up and was raised in 73 degrees
Oh,
pretty much
man.
year round. The only thing that got cold out there was the ocean. The only thing that got hot was Venice Beach. And so
That's not true, JL. That's not true. Okay.
LA gets hot.
Oh no
But-
no.
What?
So the entire left side of my family's from Los Angeles. I spent probably more time in LA than I have anywhere else outside of Texas. Love it out there, but to say that it doesn't get cold is just
It does not.
categorically wrong.
It does not get cold like Texas gets cold.
Bullshit.
It does not get cold in Southern California.
It doesn't get cold like Texas gets cold. Okay, that whatever. But
Yeah, you will never see 7 fucking degrees in California. You will never see that in Southern California.
No, you won't. But it will drop 50 degrees when the sun goes down. So if it's in the 90s it'll drop all the way down to the 40s, like 47.
especially when you're out in the desert. Absolutely.
Well, no. I'm talking about just Los Angeles, right? So every time I would go and I would take whoever I was dating at the time, like when I took my wife the last time, I said, hey, if we're going to be somewhere, you need to make sure and take a jacket with you, because if we're going to be someplace after dark, it's going to get cold. And she didn't take a jacket with her. And sure as shit, on the way back from Disneyland, the sun went down and it dropped fucking 30 degrees. It was like 78, 80, and it dropped all the way down to like, it was fucking cold. I had my jacket. She was all, I'm cold. Can I have your jacket? I said, no, I fucking told you to bring a jacket. She got my jacket.
I love Southern California. It didn't, growing up there, it took me a long time to acclimate to what Texas does, especially playing football, doing 2-a-days in the heat. And the rainy seasons as well. I mean, that one time that we had like 4 months straight of solid rain every single day, I thought my damn house was going to flood. Like I said, the weather here, like there's truth of it. Wait, you don't like the weather in Texas, wait a few minutes and it will change. That's what it does.
Yep. So, all right, let me welcome Cup of Reason, Steaming Cup of Reason. You're there?
My brother.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Are you not hearing us? What's going on there, buddy?
Don't make me get Nathan Thompson here to sing the Jeopardy thing.
Oh, no. Cruel and unusual. There's an amendment against that.
Yeah, there is.
Hey.
There we go.
How you doing, guys?
What's going on,
Hey, how you doing, Dick?
Good. Good to meet you.
I'm talking. I'm a talking.
Now, brother, we got you now.
2AHD cat. I am not. I don't think so. Fight the Flat Earth he's asleep. Yeah, you're coming through. You should be coming through.
Hey.
You should be coming through. NA, we'll check you later. Good night. Or good afternoon, I think. You're good afternoon, I believe.
Have a good night, NA.
Yeah, man.
I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the show. The new bonus content that dropped this month. We have sweet bonus content for all of our patrons. Our bloodbath debates, where we debate horror icons, put them together, and let them fight to the death. And we actually have a structured, organized debate as to who would win in a fight. And then, of course, we have our After Dark sessions, which is our special time with our celebrity guests. So we bring people on. We try to give our horror celebrities a chance to kind of nerd out with us and just talk horror movies instead of doing like a structured interview. And I I wanted to do something new with that. So, and all of our patrons get early access to that stuff.
When I hear After Dark, like you just said it there, I think of the old screensaver from back in the day, and I was
nice.
So, Steaming Cup of Reason, you said there's a delay. Is it on the Skype call? Well, that sucks. I don't understand. Maybe it's because you're too cool for us.
Reason, restart your audio engine and voice meter, because it might be a cause of the delay. Give it a restart.
Mm-hmm.
See
Meanwhile,
the delay? Yeah, it's huge.
But yeah, I would like to get Team Skeptic on, but he's too cool for us. He only slums when he's feeling generous. So
you can't. No. Robin doesn't slum. Batman or Robin slums. Batman doesn't slum. Robin will slum.
No, getting Fight the Flat Earth on the show is tough because the time difference. I guess I think it's like 2:00 in the morning for him right now.
He's also getting super busy. I mean, we're seeing more content with him crossing with Simon Dan.
Yeah.
And that leads him into content with Conspiracy Cats, who are much larger channels.
Right.
So Fight the Flat Earth may be moving into the upper echelon and leaving us all behind.
Taddy Boogle, cheers, mate. We'll see you the next time. It's good to have you here.
Later, Taddy.
Yeah.
I'll get you some coupons for Vagisil.
I thought that was a comment about your slideshow showing Lego Skeptic as appearing on the plot. Oh, no. So, just because I want to like toot my own horn, I'll put the people who've been on the show in that little slideshow. So, yeah, it's an ego thing. Like, hey, check it out. I'm really upset. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I'm upset. Dick Dawson, you should appreciate this. I'm upset at COVID-19 or the stuff because I was supposed to have a sit-down interview with Lamb of God, In Flames, and I forget who else. But those are two big bands I was supposed to have a sit-down interview with. And it was supposed to happen on July 20th, but they canceled all the shows. So I'm very upset.
Oh, for the love of God, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It's the stuff. The stuff is fucking up my shit, and I don't appreciate it.
That's sad.
Yes. I have been campaigning to get Lamb of God, Randy Blythe specifically, to sit down with me. I'm sorry, it's not Blythe, it's Bly, my bad. But have him sit down with me specifically. And he, for the longest time, he wasn't doing what he called small time interviews because they couldn't control what we were going to ask.
Fuck that fucking fuck.
Well, I mean, I get it, right? So there were, he had that whole thing with Prague and whatnot, and he didn't. Then there was the burn the priest stuff, and I get it. And
Sorry.
you got
Sorry, dude. But I had to get it in because that's just not cool, man.
well, I mean, I get it. You know what I
You
mean?
think you're too fucking big for prime time, motherfucker?
And so that's what it finally came out that I'm not a small time show, right? So I have a pretty decent following across the globe, mind you. I mean, the stats, like I think we just got picked up in India, and holy shit, our downloads from India alone are like fucking 10,000.
Nice. That's good numbers, baby.
Yeah, so,
That's the next plot hole T-shirt. We're big in India.
We're big in India.
Yeah, it should be a dildo on the fucking cover.
You know what? It might be like
you gotta work Vishnu. You gotta work Vishnu in that as well somehow. Just with the fucking
yes. But once it got around that, yeah, we're not small potatoes, he was like, okay, we'll do this interview. I was like, fucking hell you will, you motherfucker. And then the stuff said so I'm upset.
Oh my God, I almost died there.
That's what we hope to eventually get to that point as well. Having the celebrity guests we've had on so far are individual. They're fantastically talented people. A lot of character actors. We've had Billy Pond on, Cassie Shea Watson, Rebecca Kennedy. Names they're not enormous, but they're good friends of mine. Been following the Chris for a long time, but hopefully, we were hoping to get the director of Killer Sofa on. He would have been probably our biggest guest so far, but unfortunately, I think COVID-19 is wreaking havoc with that. And hopefully we'll get past this so we can start really scheduling stuff because people's personal schedules have been really fucked up by this thing.
Yeah. It says on a 30-second, you're on a 30-second delay, steaming cup of reason. That's not cool. Skype, get with the program. Because if I have to wait 30 seconds to hear the steaming cup of reason answer a question, I've already asked 6 questions in 30 seconds, and that's on a slow day.
What the actual, Microsoft, I mean, we understand you're under so much pressure with all these different, softwares and, development packages you have to keep up with. But, gee, you would figure the, $1 billion of profit you got this year would be enough to keep your goddamn software up to fucking spec. What the actual fuck? Sorry, I just lost it there.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
And now for something completely different.
Yes.
I love Monty Python.
I don't. And that's a very unpopular opinion.
Oh,
we
speaking of which, I'm just
skip
gonna
over that and move on then.
I'm just gonna drop this in. I'm gonna drop this in, Dick, because you will appreciate this. Johnny doesn't really appreciate this, but you will, being a Monty Python fan. We actually had one of our. I'm sure you're familiar with the shit show that is Fox News. Well, apparently, while the stuff that was going on in Washington was going down the autonomous zone, the Chaz. While that was going on, there was one of the Fox anchors was reading
Just
tweets.
checking the delay.
One of the Fox anchors was reading tweets that were being tweeted out about the Chaz situation, and someone tweeted out the entire anarcho-syndicalist commune scene, like that whole line. As Bale, I thought we were in a narco-syndicalist commune. You're taking turns as executive officer of the week, and blah blah. And she read that shit on air, thinking it was legit.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to steaming cup of reason. I want you to say "I" when you hear this. God damn. Here it comes. No, wait a minute. We said 30-second delay. Fucking hell, that's huge.
Oh my God! Look, he still doesn't even heard you.
Now.
Jeff, close Skype and reopen it because there is some serious badass crap going on. Kill that shit.
If there was a
Hi.
killer,
30 seconds. There it is.
If there was a killer behind him, he'd never know. Behind you.
Yeah, right?
Behind you.
I would have to tell him in the chat.
In the Jason Voorhees movie, it's Jeff. Are you kidding me?
So PhD Tony says he's with me on the Monty Python thing. So there you go. Look, here's the thing. I don't.
Still cool. It's okay.
I don't.
Tony says it can be hilarious, but it can fall flat.
So yeah, I'm there, right? So I don't hate Monty Python. I don't think it's not funny. It's just not something that, it's not something that I go to. Like when I sit down and think, hey, I want to watch some old funny films. I'm like Airplane, Caddyshack, shit like that. Monty Python. If Monty Python's on, I'm not like fuck this movie and turn it off. I mean, I'll watch it because I'll fart in your general direction. But it's not like my go-to funny film, right?
I'm assuming that you never watched Flying Circus.
If I did, no. I don't remember it.
Okay,
no, you can tell he's not a Flying Circus fan because he doesn't get the intricacies of the movies enough, right? Yeah. You can instantly tell. Because
like the Ministry of Funny Walks and the Dead Parrot sketch and shit like that.
It's the raft of life.
True now.
I mean, we can hear you. I just don't know if the delay is. I mean, are we still delayed?
Jeff, if you can hear me right now, dude, and you'll hear this in about 30 seconds, it's a sad reality. I want you to close Skype, reopen, and rejoin. All right, because it's so bad, it's not funny. It is literally out to left field. You're an instant replay to the show right now, right? Actually, it's not instant. It's behind the times.
Yeah.
Oh, Ugly German Truths. Yes, a fish called Wanda was amazing. Fucking John Cleese
movies ever.
John Cleese and Kevin Kline were off the fucking hook in that movie.
Yes.
See, I'm more of the Richard Pryor. The Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Stripes.
No,
what was their one from jail?
Fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But you know what I'm getting at, right?
Yes.
Pryor and Wilder, right? That was one of their best movies.
Stir Crazy. Yep. Yeah.
That's it.
Great movie. It was amazing. Hey, Mr. Andrat.
Didn't Pryor? I'm going to catch heat for this. Didn't Gene Wilder do blackface in that?
Did he?
There's a scene where he had to pass, where he had like the boom box and the sunglasses, and had to do a scene where he passed like that.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
That's right. And it was very very brief, and he was doing like the whole jive looking thing, the classic airplane shit.
Yes.
But
it wasn't offensive to do it then, so it doesn't count.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
What was that Saturday Night Live skit? It happened in the 80s.
But yeah, I don't see anybody trying to cancel that, but they're trying to cancel Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. One of
Well,
the
you want to talk about cancel. If you go back to early South Park when they did the first Super Friends episode, they had Mohammed on the episode
That's right.
with superpowers. But then when it became bad to show an image of Muhammad, the next South Park episodes came up where they had to censor him.
Yeah, look. There are certain things that happen in comedy that just need to leave it alone. Irish Demon says, "I'm back, guys. Kanye 2020." For instance, that joke right there, it's funny, but we need to leave it alone. It's not like when you get. And I've defended comedy before, specifically the Robert Downey Jr. thing. He did that as a caricature of what was wrong with
one of the things that was
blackface.
wrong with Hollywood. Yes.
Right.
Well, what was wrong with Hollywood?
Right.
This
Exactly.
notion that A-list actors have a lot of them have this mentality that they can play any role, and
Exactly.
he just obviously took it to its satirical extreme. So the fact that is not registering with people just kind of blows my mind.
Well, see, that's the problem that I've always had. Oh, Mr. Anrat says Blazing Saddles. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, Mel Brooks.
hell yes.
If Mel Brooks came out today, we wouldn't talk about it. We wouldn't know anything about him. Nothing. He cannot do what he does. He cannot do what he did today. He can't do it. It just wouldn't happen. You have all these people that are just hypersensitive about certain things. Look, it's a film. It's meant to be satirical. It's not like they're making these fucking movies as a goddamn documentary, even though Tropic Thunder was kind of a documentary.
This plot hole, we have to get back to the fact that comedy is comedy and insults are insults. And for the love of God, can we find that line again?
Exactly.
Well, it's the I guess you could say that people are being too sensitive about it, but people have seemed, or this generation has seemed to have forgotten what the purpose that comedy serves as far as societal, both a societal catharsis and societal cleansing, and of course societal awakening, bringing subjects to the forefront that need to be talked about, and you allow people to talk about them in a humorous light in order to create a dialogue. So the shit that Eddie Murphy was saying, in Eddie Murphy Raw and shit like that, this was things that we can laugh about when we're watching it. We think they're fucking funny. He's saying shit that we think, but we'll never say ourselves. Then we leave the theater and we go and we have a dialogue. This allows us to talk about it because we've gotten through the emotional barricade that stops us from doing so. So now we can actually have national dialogues. We see what John Oliver does on Last Week Tonight, and that is still comedy. But he's still created. Oh, Jon Stewart, 16 years on The Daily Show, and you have the Jon Stewart effect. He brings these things up. We all laugh at the absurdity, and then we start going, but there's some truth there, and then we move on, and we actually can affect change. Yeah. But people have forgotten that, and now you poke fun at somebody, and they want to whatever.
And you were so right to bring up Eddie Murphy, because even in his first one, Delirious, when he does, you never know where the gay section is on stage, so you got to keep shit, like he's teasing them, sure, but he's doing it in a very friendly way. He's not insulting anyone. He really isn't. Right. He used different words than I just used there. Right. It was a little bit, insensitive insensitive the way it was delivered. But the end result, if you go back to the 80s, he wasn't actually insulting anybody. He was including them in the joke. And that is a massive difference.
So there is a difference, and look, I absolutely understand, and I'm sensitive to the fact that people take language a certain way. So yeah, I mean, there are certain trigger words out there for everybody. You know what I mean? And not to sound like I'm a snowflake or anything, but I try to limit that type of language simply because I know it offends people, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I want to be all inclusive to many, many, many different ways of people living. Like, here's the thing. The other day we kind of tripped over the pronouns with someone who was transgender, and it was a little bit of a trigger for Microraptor, just a little bit. And I know Microraptor knows that we weren't being offensive. It's something that us old guys, specifically old men, get kind of like set in our ways
I'm
a bit.
50, so I hear you. You're preaching to me, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, we get set in our ways about certain things. We're used to some things the way that it's tough to change it. So when we do
even if you mean no harm by the way you're speaking,
right,
you still have to be mindful of the generation gap and stay current.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
tough.
That's why my next video, the next video that I'm doing, I'm going after hate churches, or I'm going after a specific hate church here in America that's based out of Philadelphia, and I suddenly realized I was getting all my images together and I was compiling, putting everything together that I'm going to have in there, and I realized, holy shit, I need to put a warning on this. And so at the top of the video, I have a warning deal put out saying that there are some images in this video that people may find distressing or triggering, because there's some really fucking hateful shit that I'm going to put in this video, and it's just examples of what these hateful people are doing. But people seeing that shit, if I was like, how would I feel if I'm sitting here watching this video and all of a sudden, boom, I'm seeing images of these signs and stuff? It's like, you got to be aware of it.
Yeah, so. And that's cool to put that on there. To say, hey, whatever, this is some fucked up shit, but that's a different scenario altogether, right? So we're talking from a this is wrong, right? So when we pull that shit up and we're commenting on how, like, the Westboro Baptist Church and what was it, the Church of David,
the Key of David,
the Key of David
Christian Center, yeah.
So when we're talking about these things, and we're definitely not saying this is okay. Matter of fact, we're quite the opposite. It's this fucking shit. This is bullshit. Don't do this shit because it's fucking stupid. But if it's
one thing that churches, that religion, although I'm staunchly against organized religion, I am staunchly for rationality and logic and seeing the world objectively. But if it's one thing church should do, it should be inclusive, and it should not create societal divide. That is a big problem that I have with churches of today, of the modern era, we're in 2020. I can understand that this shit back in the 1700s, you're creating societal divide. I understand that people were ignorant as fuck. But nowadays, 2020, we are not ignorant as fuck. Societal divide should not be a thing that we fucking entertain.
Yes,
for any reason whatsoever. And so that I have a big issue with that. And just the fact that their mission is to create societal divide as a kind of like the guiding light to come and join our congregation is a boring. I'm just appalled by it, and that's why I chose them to take a big swing at. And I hope he sees it, and I hope it pisses him the fuck off.
So
I'm going to call him out all of his shit.
Okay, so speaking of that kind of thing, did you see the one that Russell Brand did on the Westboro Baptist Church way back when he had his show and he brought them on his show?
I recall him having them on. I did not watch it.
It was amazing, because I've always been appreciative of his philosophy of all inclusive, that we're all one. He is a deeply religious person, but he is not, or spiritual person, but he is not. I wouldn't call him one of the religiotards. Okay, and that's another thing that makes people angry when you put tard at the end of something. But we'll get there.
But sometimes they freaking earn it, baby.
That's true. That is true. But so we had these two idiots on, and one of them handed him a sign that said Russell Brand is a fag pimp, right? Handed him the sign, and Russell Brand took it and said, "Oh, well, I'm English. That just means, would you like a cigarette?"
I admit his wit is beyond sharp. He is quick on the fucking draw. It's very. I have never seen anyone get one over on Russell Brand, and I love the way that he uses his appearance, and he dresses. I know it's his style, but his style of dress, the way he does his hair, and the way he speaks very rapidly, and he's very on point. And he disarms people very quickly.
Yes.
And then people try to get one over on him. He's already got it down. So I don't necessarily agree with his spiritual take or his spiritual approach to the world. It is definitely inclusive. It's definitely open, and he is friendly and inviting, and he's willing to build bridges where most society wouldn't even waste time. It's like he's willing to attempt to do that,
right.
Which more power to him.
Yeah, well said. Well said. That's an absolutely positive take on the situation and the man, and I think quite accurate as well. Very much so.
Yeah. like I said, I've appreciated his sense of humor. What was the first? So the first time I remember watching Russell Brand was in Saving Sarah Marshall, and that movie was garbage, with the exception of his character.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Saving.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
That's
I'm saying
it. Yeah. Right. Kid.
Hey, see that girl? I'm gonna go fuck her.
But you're not wrong there, plot hole, because man, he's Sean in that, right? And it wasn't the best movie.
It was terrible. It was a terrible movie.
It had funny moments. It was cute.
Yes, it had funny moments. The funny moments with Russell Brand in it.
Russell's plan was, oh, take my life, but not the shirt.
Yeah. So All the Snow, right? That his character was so good, they actually made another movie specifically about All the Snow and Get Him to the Greek.
Yes.
Which was a great film. It was super funny.
So, and this is interesting because Ugly German Truth says, I saw Brand always as a vapid narcissist.
And he will agree with you. Russell Brand will agree with you that he is a vapid narcissist. And he makes no excuses or qualms or whatever. He owns that.
But do you not have to be one to be a good actor?
Does Russell Brand want to be a good actor? I think so.
And do you not have to be a bit of a narcissist to believe in yourself enough to step up and be that good actor? I mean,
yes.
I was a touring musician, and if you don't seriously believe in yourself, you're not getting up there in front of 1,000 people, man.
That's the big thing. I never. Okay, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. My background before I got into any of it, I studied forensic psychology. And watching Russell Brand's interviews, watching his approach to people on the street and the people that he speaks to, I can see where people might think that he is because he's extraordinarily confident in what he talks about, which means he's very, very well prepared. He takes a very intelligent line, but he speaks very rapidly. He goes up and down. His energy's all over the place, and he's just very animated. I can see how people can think that, but the fact that there are certain things that he's willing to do, you can tell there are certain goals that he has, that these goals do not exist for narcissistic people who are narcissistic or malignant narcissists. These things don't occur to them. And if they do, they're so transparent, it's fucking obvious. The fact that he's willing, and I don't think he does it because his show had, the interviews he was doing, those audiences were not huge. You don't do something, it's like, hey, our viewership is this low, let's have these people on. Right. It was like with that, I don't think he is. I think he may come off that way because of his level of competency and his level of confidence, especially when talking to people who are experts in those fields. Because you realize he is the version of extremely well read, whereas they are the version of, they have their degrees, they have their jobs in those fields. Well, he sat down and he's willing to do all the research. He just doesn't have the degree to show it.
Yeah, but when you speak of this talk show, I've never seen of this. I only know him from film.
So, yeah, he had a British talk show, but that was back when he was deep into drugs. His drug abuse was huge.
Legendary.
Yes. Yeah, the guy, yeah. My goodness. But so that's one thing I wanted to bring up. His when he talks about his narcissism, is that it's something that he was conscious of after he got cleaned up, and after when his spiritual journey began. He talks about how the narcissism is something that he deals with on a daily basis. He tries to ground himself from it. He tries to be a little more humble. So he's making a conscious effort to not be that narcissist.
Okay, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it is huge. But I'd say one can engage in narcissistic behavior and not be a narcissist. One can do things, be extraordinarily selfish.
I will agree with that 100% because I, as a musician, as a touring person, had to stand up and engage in the narcissistic behavior on stage. But as soon as you get off, you better be a real person or wow, you're going nowhere, baby.
So steaming cup of reason, are we still getting the delay? Or are we I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, steaming cup, I like score. I like that anagram. He was saying that whenever he tries to join the call, he's joining call in session, and that's what's causing the delay. So we would actually have to restart everything on our end to basically have everyone join all at the same time.
Yeah, but that's fucked on Microsoft's part. That shouldn't be right. Reason, are you sure you're not listening on YouTube and maybe instead of in the Skype? And that's where the delay's coming from? It could be. You never know, right? I mean, he's running voice meter and stuff, and it could just be a routing issue.
Yeah.
Microraptor. Yes.
Yes.
Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist.
Yes, he is most definitely a malignant narcissist.
He is one of the worst kinds of narcissists.
Oh yeah. If I had a mole and I named it Donald Trump, it would be the first one to be fucking removed, right? You know.
You want to say hi? This is my boy right here. He's going to say hi to everybody.
Come on over, buddy.
Come on over. Oh, this is on a delay, so hang on. Wait, hang on. Let me help you out. You can come over here. Boom. Now you can see yourself. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up, little Keith?
Now you going to bed?
Yeah.
All right.
Hello, plot hole. Take care, buddy. Have a good night.
That's mini plot hole. Then we got some more. We got more kids. I think they already went up to bed though. They're a little more camera shy than he is. All right. Oh, here comes the sexiest woman in radio, right here.
Mrs. Plot Hole.
There's Mrs. Plot Hole.
Hi.
Hey.
Very rare she'll make an appearance on camera for the YouTubes. Usually I get her on the other side for the radio show, but she doesn't like to do the live stuff.
Nope. And I have.
Hi, Mrs. Plot Hole. How you doing, honey?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Great to see you on air. This is great.
Thanks.
There's
Hey,
JL.
JL.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you, but I've never met you.
It's a pleasure. It's awesome to finally get to see you.
What do you say?
He said it's a pleasure to get to see you.
Oh, you too. Likewise. Even though I see you on these monitors back here behind me all the time.
What do you
Happy
think there, Plot Hole? Maybe we should have you and the missus on the Shills coming up.
You know what? If we can make that work out, that would be great. Because she really is an amazing voice. Whenever I try, so the Plot Hole is a very masculine dominant show because that's just who I am. But I always want to have that. I always want to get her voice on stuff. I'm always trying to get her onto the show. But with the kids and all that stuff, they kind of run around, and kids are kids, and they need attention. But
yep. Oh, dude, I'm a single parent. I know all about it all too well.
Yep.
But you know what? Let's try to plan it out because it would be really great if we could make a family night out of it. That would be absolutely cool.
I agree because again, she has a lot of really awesome perspective on just a plethora of stuff. So it's always good getting her opinions on everything, right? So whenever I do something, if I put out a video, I say, "Hey, check this out. Tell me what you think," and then she gives me her feedback and. So I owe
she
a
tells
lot of
you
our
where you're wrong, and then you fix it, and then away you go, right?
Exactly. She says, "This is bullshit. Don't do that." And I said, "Okay, I won't." But yeah, she's awesome.
I love it. So yeah, let's plan that out because that would be really fun. We could have a blast.
Oh, for certain.
Where is Irish Demon? It's only it's not even 3:00 in the afternoon in Australia. Where is that guy?
He's lurking. He's still in the chat.
No, you know what? Fuck lurking. Get your punk ass in here. We've had enough.
That's right. He's probably...
It's 3/4 bearded dudes on screen.
Oh, you see that? He counts hours in beer like a proper Canadian. He has to join this right now.
You're a Tomcat bachelor, John Rapp? Not at 57. You're more like an old cat bachelor.
Oh, too funny.
7 a.m. in Zurich.
So, over on the Shills, like on the iNetwork on the Shills show, we're branching out from Flat Earth and we're attacking everybody, right? So,
yes.
Let me pose this question to everybody here on the panel. Sorry. Why Do certain people charge their crystals in moonlight when you could charge them in daylight that's non-reflective and therefore stronger, and it would happen faster? Would anybody like to answer this question for me? Why do people charge crystals in moonlight when moonlight is sunlight?
Because moonlight crystals charged are very charged crystals, and they have special cold laser light properties. I don't know. I don't know.
I think I have a friend whose wife is into this, and I think that charging your crystals in the moonlight. Now, correct me if I'm fucking wrong, live chat. I could be, because I've only gleaned a little bit from this, but from what I understand, crystals charged in the moonlight have better capacity for healing and for cleansing.
But
so
why?
The moon charging ritual is designed for and because the moon has better, I guess, better, or is better producing power that cleanses.
Yeah, but okay, Mr. Warren, please explain this to me. Why does moonlight work better when it is just reflected sunlight, and therefore sunlight would do it faster and better?
Because it's
I don't think
filtered.
I don't think it has to do with the sun itself, but with the moon itself.
Yes, it's
and
filtered
tying
sunlight.
Yes, it's so, or maybe that it's filtered, but I think it's in the celestial body itself. Instead of the star, it's within the moon.
So your answer is it's bullshit.
I will say yes, it is. It's in their head. It's or I guess it's a psychosomatic idea that is expressed through a misinterpretation of natural phenomena, or basically mind over matter. You charge these crystals, you wear these crystals, you think they make it's placebo effect. You think they make you feel better. You feel better. You say it works. And so you continue to do it, and
it has to be, because I mean the whole thing with astrology, the constellations have moved, and since astrology was formulated and started to be practiced, Leo isn't in the same place as it was before. So would you please explain this?
So hang on a second. Microraptor says, so if light is reflected off of someone's butt and into my eye, what powers do I get? Well, the powers that you get
you've got butt light, and you really should watch where you're looking in life.
I think it may tie into similar phenomena. I think one of my favorite, being in the Scouts, you hear a lot about Native, Indigenous Americans and their kind of the things, the little things that they did, little tricks of the trade, stuff like that. And one of them was, because they were nomadic, one of the things you have, what's something that happens that when you walk a long distance, you can get stitches in your side. If you're not stretched, you're like, oh, and you get cramps. Yeah. So their solution for doing that was you had to look on the ground and you had to find a rock that looked like something specific. You have like a perfectly round rock, or as round a rock as you can find, or if you have to find like a specific flower in a particular area. And if you walk around and find it, then when you find it, that will cure your cramps. But in actuality, what you're doing is you are focusing on something, you're bending down and you're stretching, and eventually you'll find it, and then you realize your cramps are gone. And exactly.
That at least has more basis in reality than the South Park or the Simpsons. This rock makes sure that tigers don't come around scenario, right? Because at least in the other one, you're stretching to get the fucking muscles working, right?
Well, that's why
there is a scientific explanation.
That's why I only vape anti-elephant vape juice. Because as you see, there are no elephants around here, so it must be working.
You were on the Shills earlier. Don't get me going on elephants again. You heard that one.
All right, let's see here. Steaming cup. We're gonna make this work. Damn it.
No ugly German truths. That's how you get pink eye.
That's how you get pink eye. What movie?
Oh my God, you can't make that up. That's amazing.
Oh,
Let's see. See if that works. See if we can get Steaming Cup of Reason in here. You know
Oh,
what's
shit,
going to
I'm
happen?
sorry, guys. My doorbell's going. I need like a minute here. Hold
I'll
on.
do your thing.
It
go
might
for it.
it might be I'm one of those parents in the neighborhood where the kids come to, right? So I just need a second. Hold on,
No,
I'll
do
be
your
right
thing.
back.
No, no worries.
Hey there, neighbor. What can I do you for?
I thought it was
Son
Howdy
of a
Ho
bitch,
Neighbor.
that's exactly
Better
it.
now?
J.L.Truth, but if you are vaping all the juice away, won't the elephant start to appear in your freezer?
That's a good question.
Then I need to ensure I never run out.
All right, Steaming Cup, how's that? 30 seconds later.
1 eternity later.
Yep. Oh, there goes a mortar.
Yes, Goddens. Goddens River? I hope I pronounced that correctly. I did hear about the sudden death of all those elephants in the Delta. That was wild. I did not look into why it may have happened.
Am I coming through okay?
We can hear you. I just don't know if we're still on delay.
I think we are still doing.
That tells me we are.
Johnny, your screen is blinking with a red battery light.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my battery's going to die. I'll have to change it. When Dick Dawson gets back, I will change it. You just lose my ugly mug for a minute, which I think everybody will appreciate.
Remember, John Rapp,
Yeah, I think we are.
time is not an independent variable. I can't even say it with a
Can't even
straight
say it
fucking
with a straight
face.
Did you
Oh
hear
my God.
Jesus L. Warren? That's
The
great.
fun that people are having with my name. And it was so funny because I chose J.L.Warren for a couple of reasons. One, I chose it as my author name for the novella that I was writing, and I was
I'm
like, you know
sorry
what?
I haven't finished reading that yet. It's just been super
It's okay.
busy. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of H.P. Lovecraft, as you can see. You know, Howard sits there and judges me when I'm not writing. And
Do you do that specifically to make you
Yes,
feel like
yes,
the eye
I
of
did.
judgment?
Yes, I did, because the horror fiction that I write is definitely Lovecraftian inspired, and I saw this, I had to have it. I hung it right there, so now every single time, whenever I'm sitting down and I get done with my week in horror shit, he reminds me I need to pluck away at my next novella, just a little bit. I'm trying to, week in horror got so big and it's got me so wrapped up that I don't have a ton of time, so I try to just pluck away at it, whenever I can. But I chose J.L. Warren because I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft, Howard Philip Lovecraft,
Yeah.
and so I went with that. And then I was like, you know what, I wanted to start doing this on YouTube. So I started doing Week in Horror. I was like, what if I just did J.L. Warren on Week in Horror? And that's where it kind of took off from there.
That's cool.
Guys, if I can cut in for a second, my neighbor with an autistic kid as well is having a moment. I got to go over and help. I might be like 5 minutes. I'll be back as fast as I can.
Oh, yeah. Do your thing. No worries.
But this is just what I do. It has to be done. I got to go.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. I got to change the battery here really quick. Let's see. Oh.
I am very curious. I'm going to while we have this moment,
Do your thing.
because we have a bunch of seriously cool people in the chat, and I want to know. I'm very, very curious. I don't, unfortunately, because we don't do live content, we don't do live streaming or anything of that nature. We don't often get the opportunity to engage with our audience as much as we would like. Hopefully, we start generating the Patreons. We start, getting that. We can start doing things like that. We can upgrade our system, start doing live streams, and interact with people live. That will be a lot of fun. But I want to know, just for shits and giggles, everyone in the chat, what is your favorite scary movie? As cliche as that sounds, I kind of want to know what everybody digs. Just type it up in the chat. Just let me know what your favorite one, what your go-to horror film is. Let me know what it is.
I'm going to be right back. You guys
And
get the
J.L. Warren
sweet sounds of J.L. Warren. 1 sec.
J.L. Warren has taken over the chat. But definitely, I'd love to hear what you guys think, or what you guys, your favorite horror movies are. And another recommendation, while I have you here, while I have you captivated here, what is your recommendations, or what would you like to hear? Because you know what we do on Week in Horror. Anybody who's listened to the show, we pick horror movies that came out that week throughout horror history, and we talk about them in depth and in detail, and we kind of break them down from the filmmaker's perspective. And we love getting emails from you guys. We love hearing your feedback. We, especially now that we have the YouTube channel going and we have our episodes going up there. But we don't really get to engage with you. So, what would you like to see? For any of you, film fans out there that really, really enjoy horror movies, what kind of content would you like to see us do beyond what we already do? Or if not, if we don't need to add anything, because we do the debates, we do the After Dark sessions with our special guests. We have guest hosts on the time. Johnny was a guest host on the show. But what other kind of ideas are out there? I'd love to pick your brains and find out what you guys might be looking for, which might make it really cool, other than live content, because eventually we're going to go there. Let's see what we got. So yes, God Ends, Blair Witch Project, the original, 1999. Awesome movie. That's actually coming up here pretty soon on our I think either the next episode, or I think it's our next episode. We'll be talking about that. It's either that one or the one after that. We'll be talking about Blair Witch Project. John Rapp, Alien, yes, original Alien, Ridley Scott, 1979.
All right.
Awesome.
Yes, Alien is. I remember the first time I watched that movie, it scared the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
God,
Michael Lars Thor Rasmussen, Alien. It says Alien. Awesome. That's 2 votes for the classic. Nathan Thompson. Mine's the original Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 is pretty good too, but 3 I wouldn't call. 3 was more comedy. Was more a comedy horror. But yes, original Evil Dead. Yes. Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, classic. Ugly German Truths. I'm Weak Sauce. I favor stuff like Brendan Fraser, The Mummy, Gremlins, Army of Darkness. Gremlins is a horror film. Gremlins classifies as a horror film. The first one does. The second one was slapstick comedy, but the first one was definitely a horror movie.
Yeah.
John Rapp, The Thing. Yes. That's my number.
Absolutely.
That's my number 1. Microraptor, Alien, or Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, not really a horror, but a good movie. I still love it. Alien is good. And Evil Dead. Glober Mom for Evil Dead. Evil Dead from the 80s. That's right. Another Evil Dead from Commander Darklight. Oh yes, John Rapp, Return of the Living Dead. 80s fucking style horror. One of the best zombie films out there.
Yes. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
And
got The Shining.
God Ends, right? Yeah, right. The Shining.
Which one?
We got some serious classics. A lot of love. A lot of love for Sam Raimi. And, of course, Amy Hogan with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have been to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house that was used in the remake, with that one with Jessica Biel and Eric Balfour and Arlie Ermey. I actually got to go visit it. It's literally right. It's a few hours away. It's right off 35.
Yes, it is.
Just outside of Austin.
Yeah. All right. What happened here? Can we still hear everybody? Making sure. I think we should be able to hear everybody.
Oh, Glover Mom with the Frighteners. Yes, Peter Jackson, Michael J. Fox.
I saw that. I can't remember when it first came out way back when. I didn't like it so much.
I love the Frighteners. I thought it was spot on. All the tropes that all the stuff that you could tell. Obviously, you could tell it was a Peter Jackson film. All of the tropes that he came up with, Bad Taste and Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles. You could tell there were little things that he loves to do, the little hallmarks, and all of those made it in there. Michael J. Fox is a fantastic actor. Love him in everything that he does. He recently had a birthday, but I love the Frighteners, and that's one of the ones that if it's on, I will stop and watch it.
Hey, Alien Moon, how you doing? What's that? Dracula 2000, yeah.
Dracula 2000, goofy but a good time waster. And the Carpenter version, the Carpenter version was John Carpenter's Vampires, and John Carpenter's Vampires had James Woods, and that was. Terrible. I have a little bit more respect. I have more respect for it today than when I first saw it, because it came out before that was a part of that. I think that was part of the Carpenter slide when studios really weren't taking him seriously, and they weren't giving him the opportunities to do what he really wanted to do, because he followed it up with Ghosts of Mars, and that was a pretty terrible film. But
that killed his career.
Yes,
Ghost of Mars was terrible.
That was rough. Let's see. Favorite movies are Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Star Trek. Star Trek fan. Boom. Thank you, yep. Michael Lars Thor Rasmussen.
Yep. I don't know if you can see it back there, but you got my clone trooper helmet over my left shoulder.
I don't see your image.
Oh, that's right. I forget because of the way this thing is pumped in. I forget.
Oh, original Body Snatchers from the 70s? Yeah, Donald Sutherland.
No. That is not the original.
No, he's not the original, but he's talking about the 70s one. You're referring to
the 50s version.
Yeah, the black and white version.
Yes.
With the end of the, they're all coming together. That whole thing.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, yeah.
I'm also a big fan of the Puppet Masters. I really am, because that's the legitimate adaptation of the Robert Heinlein book.
They're so corny. That's what I like about them. They're just, it's not campy, it's corny.
So much good stuff.
Yeah.
On this next episode of Week in Horror, we actually do we have some recommendations for some little hidden gems that are on Netflix. If you happen to be quarantined or furloughed, we have I think 6 films that we came across that we talk about that I think the people will enjoy on there. A couple a big recommendation. Really love if you dig it. If you dig like Return of the Living Dead and 80s style horror like that, Night of the Creeps is a fantastic one. The original Prom Night, also really fucking good. Probably one of the most inspiring or influential slasher films ever made. Jamie Lee Curtis's 3rd film, I do believe, after The Fog and Halloween.
Michael Lars Thor Rasmussen says The Fly. Do you mean the Jeff Goldblum or the 50s? Fly?
Oh, that would be given that's it wouldn't be the 50s one. That would be the Cronenberg remake.
What's wrong with the 50s one? Why would you not say that one?
No, the 50s one is good. But the Cronenberg, it was good. But the Cronenberg remake, obviously took it to extremes that nobody really anticipated.
Oh yeah.
Ugly German Truth, J.L.Truth, does Election Night 2016 count as horror? It was a bit shakily directed, but the fear, yes.
Are we talking about Election Night 2016? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that YouTube? I don't know if it was a YouTube video, but because like 2016, there was like all the fucking good actors and actresses were just fucking like knocking off, and then there was somebody made a video about it, but it was a guy running around in a Trump mask. That's 2016 being the killer. Did you see that shit?
That I did not, but that sounds hysterical.
It was hilarious.
Glober Mom, Fright Night, Roddy McDowall, fuck yes, and Krista Randon. Krista Randon actually has a birthday coming up. Love the original
with Vincent Price, yeah.
And one of my favorite Vincent Price, obviously he was awesome in Edward Scissorhands. I love that, his last movie. But I really enjoyed Mask of the Red Death. I thought he was fantastic. And of course, he was the voice of Thriller.
Yep.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of Doctor Who. Just didn't like the last 2 seasons. Crap enemies.
I never got into Doctor Who. My brother watched it. All right, Dick Dawson, you're back. You should be able to jump right back into the call.
Ilya Moon at JL. Hey, Ilya Moon. So much good stuff out there, and it's really one of the coolest things or one of the most strenuous things I've had to do is realize in order to do what we do is I've had to.
Yeah, I gotta say with Plot Hole there, I'm the same. I am a massive. I'm a massive sci-fi fan, but Doctor Who just never hooked for me.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I tried, and everybody built it
I'm
up.
not sure what it is.
Yeah, I just couldn't get into it.
Yes, Ilya Moon. Yes, the Puppet Master series. The Puppet Master series was good. It was good, silly entertainment. Full Moon Pictures does a lot of that. Obviously, they did the Puppet Master series. They did the Ginger Dead Man series. Demonic Toys. Right, and they obviously have a lot of fun. They're very much in the vein of Troma and Lloyd Kaufman's work. I like them. I love the fact that Puppet Master's seeing a resurgence, and it started with The Littlest Reich, and actually was like, holy shit, these actually got good again. And so they're actually doing really well. And I know that there's a new one coming out that centers solely on the puppet blade that should be coming out either towards the end of this year or next year. You know, the delays
pushed
really fucked
yeah.
everything up. Yeah.
Dick Dawson says he's not hearing. That's not good. Real quick, so Gardens Rivera says
Killer Bong, yes, Killer Bong.
Plot, am I in sync now? Are you hearing me live now?
Yeah, I hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm back. Okay.
Cool.
I had to refresh Skype, so I'm back proper. Sorry, guys.
All right, hang on. There's what was that movie where Sean Bean goes to a parallel dimension to save his daughter? It's set somewhere in Ireland, and sheeps play a role.
Does he die in it? Because he dies in everything, right?
I mean, I think so.
If Sean Bean doesn't die in it, the movie is not respectable.
Exterminate, he says.
I love it.
Yeah, Steamy Cup of Reason. Next time we'll get this working.
I believe that would be The Dark. It was a 2000. It was a British-German horror film. It was him and Maria Bello.
Let's see here. There was another one I saw in here. 1 second. So yeah, The Reanimator. That's an excellent. I didn't like all the remakes. I'm not the remakes. I didn't like all the sequels. I liked the original. I thought that was good.
I liked the first one was obviously the best, and 2 was kind of a dive, but I did like 3. I liked what they did with 3.
Yeah.
It was definitely better than it had any right to be, but that's only because of Jeffrey Combs, because Jeffrey Combs is the kind of dedicated actor who will return to a role to complete a story. No matter what the perception of that role is, he will always come in and he'll always make it his own. I love watching Jeffrey Combs in anything he does.
Yeah, he's highly underrated.
Oh yes, and of course, for the sci-fi fans out there, Jeffrey Combs, a staple of Star Trek.
Yes.
And virtually, I think.
Oh, big time.
He was in. I think he was in all the new series. He was in Next Generation. He was in.
Yep,
he was in DS9, of course.
He was in Voyager and Enterprise.
Yes, he was in all 4 of the newer ones.
I loved what was the name? Star Trek fans out there, what was the name of Jeffrey Combs' Andorian? I can't remember. I didn't watch a lot of Enterprise. Was it Enterprise or was it the new one, Discovery, where Jeffrey Combs plays an Andorian, this badass Andorian, because they're going through the bullshit, when the Andorians were at war with the Vulcans.
I think that was Enterprise.
Think it was Enterprise?
I think so.
Someone in the live chat will know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think we need viewer help here to be sure.
But while they're looking at that, one of the hardest things about doing Week in Horror was I realized that I had a good kind of encyclopedic knowledge of a lot of stuff, but I didn't have any of it written down. So I wound up creating this, what I call the horror movie database, which from January 1st to December 30th to December 31st, every single day of the year, in a horror, I have like at least 5 or 6 now movies for every day of the year, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. From 1898, from House of the Devil in 1898 all the way up to today, and movies keep getting added to it and keep getting added to it, and the birthdays and in memoriams for people who have passed. And it just keeps getting larger. It's gotten so fucking big.
JL,
but this way,
we have a thing coming up on the iNetwork, our channel where we do the Shills show and stuff, where we are doing crappy, amazing movie reviews. You have got to join us for this show.
See, that's the thing. Awesome. That's the thing that I'm kind of missing right now is our movie review Mondays.
Oh my God, please resurrect that plot with your opinions. You've got to do this.
Well, so we both put it on. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And we're going to pick it back up again. I think we've got Event Horizon coming up next. We both put that on the back burner because JL, he did his J.L.Truth takedown, and then I've been working on that expose video. So as soon as those projects get wrapped up, JL's is done. As soon as my project gets wrapped up, we're going to get back to it.
What if we did a show cross-channel and multi-streamed?
You never cross streams.
Son of a bitch! I should have known that was coming.
Yeah, so Glover Mom said it was Shran in Enterprise. What's that?
Unless you have to cross the streams.
But I don't see any giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. So
total protonic reversal.
Yep.
Right.
Nathan Turpson with the old Toho Godzilla films. Fuck yes, that right there is dedicated filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
If you think back in those days, you put a guy in a monster suit and have two guys in a monster suit and have them bounce around in like 1950s monster suits, have them bounce around a tiny city. Okay, I can't imagine being a part of that. I couldn't imagine wearing that fucking suit because that would have been a nightmare. But nonetheless, you can imagine. I'm gonna put on a suit and I'm gonna like pick up this fake building and throw it at the. Oh god damn, that is fun right there.
Big J, I'm gonna set him off right now. Star Wars Episode 1 or 4, sorry, but the actual original, right? Versus the first of the prequels.
Wait.
One is models, 2 is CGI, 1 is lived in, 2 is polished. Give me a sound off. What do you think?
Wait a minute. What's the question?
The question is the difference between episode proper 1 of Star Wars, like A New Hope, versus that fucking thing with Jar Jar Binks, and give me your opinion on models versus CGI in sci-fi.
Okay, so here's the thing, Ilya, I would love to do that. By the way, I would love to go on your show and do your creepy conspiracy thing. But let me answer your question there.
You would be awesome on that show. Her show kicks ass. It would be so good.
Okay, so the greatest horror film era is the 80s. Hands down. There's no better horror film era than the 80s. You cannot convince me otherwise. And the reason why it's the greatest is because the storytelling was the best because the special effects were practical.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Practical effects.
Well, you're looking at the heydays of Stan Winston, of Rob Bottin, of Rick Baker. The guys that set the standard when they're working with guys like Ridley Scott and James Cameron and Steven Spielberg, and I mean, there's a reason that they were there. And you look at what Rob Bottin did in The Thing. And literally, people sleep on how influential that movie is when it came to doing special effects in sci-fi, especially or in horror. Okay,
I'm getting hard right now. This is good stuff.
and the fact that Rob Bottin did all that himself. Except for the dog transformation, which he was assisted by Stan Winston on, because he needed 2 people. But all of those designs, all of that Rob Bottin. You got Stan Winston. You had Stan Winston Studios doing they did the Predator design, the Alien design, the fucking Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. You don't see that level of detail, and I don't think anymore.
Would you call him Harryhausen 2.0?
Yes.
Damn close.
Yes. So you have two, maybe 3 major players in special effects. Harryhausen is the Godfather. Okay. That is
Dynamation, man.
Yes. And then Stan Winston is number 2. Yes. And then number 3, man, that's hard pressed to put a figure on, put a name on that one.
Number 3, I would say ILM before computers, because the original Star Wars is ultimate model use.
Yes, I would have to say ILM because of what they did for sci-fi.
It's nothing better. I mean, come on. Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
The AT-ATs, the AT-STs.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm so glad you call them AT-ATs and AT-STs and not AT-ATs.
I will never call it an AT-AT. I will never call it an AT-AT. AT-ATs or AT-STs. That's what the fuck they are.
Yeah.
See, now you're allowed on the shills. You have just
Oh, man. Yes, good times, man. But, so the Star Wars, by far, is so much better because of the lack of CGI. Now, don't get me wrong. CGI is okay if used sparingly.
Plot hole. Would you agree that the CGI used to take Lieutenant Dan's legs away in Forrest Gump was used perfectly?
That was used perfectly.
And the reason why, because they weren't adding to something, they were taking something away. So they just green screened his legs out. Perfect. It was perfect.
And Microraptor's right. Jurassic Park CGI.
Oh,
the use of CGI in that, but they also had. I mean, come on, Spielberg actually built a 25-foot Tyrannosaurus Rex
that almost killed people.
It almost killed
electrocuted people.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, but he used it sparingly. He used it where he needed it, and then he realized that a CGI dinosaur is up there in front of you trying to interact with. That's not going to work. You're not going to get the same reaction out of your people. That's why the shark in Jaws, I mean, obviously, it could not be animated or anything of that nature. So it had to be. That's why I love Spielberg's dedication to practical effects, and doing what he can. We see how it fails with movies like AI, where you go and even James Cameron, who invented a new fucking camera to do Avatar, there's still a bit something lost there. Okay, you got to harken back to like Aliens, Terminator, shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I need to respond to this. Ugly German Truths. Harry and the Hendersons did not suck as costume design. Kevin Peter Hall made that suit work. And it was phenomenal. The facial muscle, the articulation in the face, and the fact that every single one of those hairs was individually placed in that suit in order to create a natural effect from being groomed to being out and woolly and wild out there, all like that. That took precision planning. That suit was amazing.
And you've got to give extra credit to the fact we're talking about network television from back in the day and not movie expense. That is a big difference from that era.
And yes, PhD Tony just honorable mention to The Void. Yes, The Void is absolutely fucking amazing. Next level. I think one of the Color Out of Space just recently released, and that's obviously a Lovecraft adaptation. The Void was so Lovecraftian. It was the closest thing to The Thing that I think anybody has gotten in a long fucking time. Everything in that was practical effects, except for like the very final shot when they've gone through the portal. But everything was practical in that. Absolutely stellar design, and I fucking love that movie. I've recommended it to so many people. So thank you, PhD Tony.
Yeah.
If you have not seen The Void, I think it's on Netflix right now.
It stands tall, huge. Very much agreed. That is a wicked shout. I am so supportive of that.
Any of the Stephen King books made into movies? Michael Lars, Dawson. I'm a big fan of Christine. Big fan of the original Pet Sematary. Carrie was good. And,
Tommy Knockers TV special, but very well made.
Tommy Knockers was extremely well made.
I got a lot of hate for liking the HBO one. Fuck. Jesus Christ. What is it? Langoliers. The Langoliers. It was.
The Langoliers was network. That was on NBC, I think.
No, Langoliers was HBO special.
Was that?
Yep.
Yeah, it got sold off after. That's how we, the other people saw it after. That is not cool at all, because to try and cram a Stephen King novel with all the narrative in it into a 2-hour video or something, there has to be compromises.
Yes.
And you have to work within it in your perception and your predisposition to the video. Yeah. That is not fair. As far as I'm concerned, the Langoliers kicked ass.
Yeah,
it was good. I enjoyed it.
And here I'm going to share an unpopular opinion because somebody brought it up in the chat. The original Stephen King, the miniseries, Stephen King's It, sucked balls. If it wasn't for Tim Curry, that movie was garbage. The
second half sucked balls.
The first half did too.
Awesome.
It was terrible. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the second half with the adults, but come on.
Also a shout out to Cujo.
Oh yeah.
And the Cujo and the Dead Zone.
Good. Oh, the Dead Zone is so well done.
Christopher Walken, damn.
Yeah.
He owned that, man. When they tried to do the TV serial after, they had no chance because nobody could stand a Walken for the role.
Oh, and he's right. Yeah, Shawshank Redemption. And I'm a huge, not horror, I am a huge fan. Shawshank Redemption was mentioned by Ugly German Truths.
Yes, good film.
It was obviously a great movie. Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, brilliant film. I'm also a giant fan of The Green Mile. So that one kicks me in the fucking feels every time I watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of people didn't know that was a Stephen King film. Or a Stephen King novel. And to be fair, it wasn't a Stephen King novel so much as it was a serialized.
Yes.
It was serialized. I forget. Was it? Forget what publication put it out, but it was broken up into 6 different parts.
Right. That's similar to the Bachman books because nobody knew Stand By Me was king at the time, right?
Because he put that out under a different name.
Yeah.
He put Stand By Me and I forget the other one out under a different name.
There was
PhD Tony, what you emailed me is not showing up on the old Skypers, so.
Oh, Misery. Yep, Kathy Bates.
Oh, Kathy Bates' character in Misery was the tits. Oh my god,
that was
Kathy
a great
Bates.
horror. But to give props to Kathy Bates, Dolores Claiborne.
Yes.
Fucking amazing film.
Wow.
And I think Kathy Bates has said to this day, Dolores Claiborne was her favorite movie that she ever acted in.
Did she not own the screen every time she stepped on? Every time. My God. The camera was in love with that woman.
She has probably one of the best presence as an actress in all of film. When she is on camera, I mean, like I watched Misery a couple of weeks ago, again, just because it's such a good film. And the hobbling scene that gets me every time because my knees, my legs are like my legs are strong. That's it, but my knees are weak. I have bad knees. I had accidents as a kid, and sports and injuries and all that shit. So my knees are shit. But that scene gets me every single time. The hobbling scene,
to Amy Hogan, for me it was the fact that Stephen King knew and wrote about the area that I lived in Maine. It's pretty cool. There is another person who's frequently here. Johnny, who was it who actually lives up there near Bangor?
Prime Red.
Prime Red, yes. He lives in Bangor, and just actually a few minutes from the standpipe that was used in the original It.
Yeah, we had Prime Red on the Shills just recently. He's just recently joined the family, and he's a very close compatriot to us over on the iNetwork and the Shills. I love that guy. He knows how to find the real stupid in the dark depths, not just on the fringes, right?
And I'm actually really, really digging, since we're on this, I'm actually really digging the Netflix adaptations that have been coming out. Gerald's Game was good and was faithful to the book.
Oh man, I loved that Gerald's Game.
Yeah, Gerald's Game was fantastic. I'm a big Carla Gugino fan. Oh my god, I love her so much. Yeah. But she was fantastic in that. 1922 about Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane was the farmer who murders his wife with his son, and then the shit just goes fucking haywire from there. And the book that King wrote with his son Joe, what was it? In the Tall Grass.
In the Tall Grass, yeah.
Yes, that one was freaky as fuck.
Okay, so here, if we're gonna get into some literature, do you guys know the book Flowers in the Attic and the movie that came from it? That is some intense stuff.
Christy Swanson's first role, if I remember correctly, and Louise Fletcher was the grandmother in that.
Oh, man. How do you fucking remember this?
Well, Louise Fletcher is always fantastic. I mean, Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and of course, if you want to go back to Star Wars, she was Kai Wynn in Star Trek in DS9.
Such a good call.
She's got that. It just oozes that ominous, that domineering, matriarch. I just love how she has that. She brings it to everything she does. But that was a creepy one. The books were really fucking weird.
Yeah. JL, the books are almost like you do not read them before bed. You read them during the day.
I'm trying to get...
I love that storyline. That's the kind of stuff that makes you go, whoa.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
and if Flowers in the Attic is unfamiliar to anybody watching the chat right now, please Google it and get yourself a copy, because wow.
Grover Mom, Nightbreed, the movie and the book. Yes, Clive Barker. Probably his magnum opus was Nightbreed, and the I wish the studio had not interfered as badly as it had, because the studio was looking for was like legit, like a straight up slasher horror film. They wanted more focus on the psychotic therapist. They wanted more focus on his serial killer persona than the actual tale of the Nightbreed and going underground and the whole underground civilization of monsters. The studio fucked him. Yeah, they fucked him over on that one, which is a shame. But I love that movie. And who was it? Said Nathan Turpson. I call dibs on JL for trivia night, partner. Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Hang on a second. I'm gonna get Dr. Tony in here. PH Giant D in here. And
Tony baby.
Let me see. Let me get him in here really quick. Let me get him in here. Let me see. Where are you? There he is. Boom. Let's move you down over here.
Jesus, we have a lot to work to do.
There we are. Yeah, I know. So Dr. Purcell.
Yep.
Yeah, sweet. We can hear you. That's awesome.
Well, how are you, gentlemen?
We are good.
Tony, my friend, my new buddy, welcome back to the show. How are you, man?
I'm well, thank you. I was so excited that you guys were talking about 1980s horror films. I just had to horn in on that. Though I'm going to freely admit that I love horror films, and particularly, The Thing is just my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
But my knowledge is nowhere near as encyclopedic as you guys, so I'm going to sit back and pick your brain.
No, hold on.
I'll give you a little something.
That was JL, not us.
So I'll tell you, Doctor.
Just Tony. Just Tony.
Okay, Tony.
Yep.
Go back and watch The Thing. There are hints throughout the movie as to who is infected and who is not. And it was the cinematographer who lit scenes a certain way that if someone was infected, their eyes did not reflect light, did not catch the light. And if they were not infected, you could see the light kind of glinting off their eyes. But if they were infected, the light did not reflect off their eyes, and that was a hint as to who you could tell who was infected and who's not.
That's an interesting point. I mean, I'd noticed that it was rather more heavy-handed in Blade Runner, for instance. The visual eye effects that I took to be who's a replicant and who's not. But that was way too subtle for me in The Thing. So I have never picked it up. I've watched that movie countless times, so thank you for that. I'll rewatch it again.
It's my no. I did a top 10 horror films with Johnny when it was on the plot hole one night, and The Thing is my number one. And for like little details like that, I love the fact that these are scientists, these are logical individuals dealing with an extraordinary situation. The fact that we get to see how many times you see a horror film actually run through what you can see, like the personified scientific method and how we're going to deal with this thing. And so I loved that we had characters that, and at the time when it came out, everybody hated it. They said the characters were shallow, that there was no depth. It was like, no, fuck no. We look back now, we see these are logical, calm, scientific individuals who live in an extremely harsh environment. They have to be this way. They have to be clinical about what they do. And everyone from Richard Dysart, Kurt Russell, fucking Keith David, everybody sold their shit so well in that movie. And of course, the effects of Rob Bottin, just amazing.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Astonishing.
I remember.
I have to. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say that, I think that there has been a lot of high quality horror come out recently. Sort of high concept horror, but to me that's just a classic of the art form. It's just so suspenseful. We recently had it the local cinema before the current dramas showed it on the big screen. It was just great to go back and watch it. Just sit back in a cinema seat and really enjoy it.
I recently got that experience again before the close. It was last year. I got to go and see Labyrinth in theaters.
Oh,
and
Dance magic.
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been unbelievable.
It was mind blowing because it came out I think 1986 is when Labyrinth came out, and I'd only ever seen it at home. I had it on VHS. I had it on DVD. I still have all my copies, but I've never seen it in theaters. And most likely, my mother did not, because my mother took me to see E.T. She took me to see Ghostbusters, but I never did get to see Labyrinth in theaters, which made me sad. But finally, they showed it, and not only did we get to see Labyrinth, but 2 episodes of The Storyteller before Labyrinth.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. Okay. So we got to watch that, and they did the one with the Faustian one, where the guy made the deal with the little devils and everything. He had the sack. Yep. So
that's right. Death. And so that's the story of death. Yep.
Yes. Yep. And so we got to watch that, and then I got to see the original Labyrinth up on the big screen the way it was intended. God dang, the experience! You have to see it in theaters. Obviously, seeing it on the big screen is so different. It reminded me of when I got to see Gremlins at the drive-in in California. We went out, parked the car, got the speaker on the window, and we got to watch Gremlins that way. I remember that.
But anyway, I cut you off, plot hole. Johnny, sorry.
That's okay. You can call me. Just don't call me stupid. Just don't call me a flurf.
Absolutely not. Won't happen.
Jeez, I have no idea. I lost. I was answering chats and all that fun stuff. Oh, yeah. We were talking about The Thing. I remember sitting down watching The Thing years ago, back when my wife and I were first married, and I was watching it, and she walks in and she goes, "What is this piece of shit?" I said, "Wait a minute."
Just wait.
I said, "Stop. I know you're not talking about the movie that I'm watching, so you must have something weird in your hand."
It's so
you know how hard that was to hold off on right there.
Yes.
It's so wildly.
I do, because I lived it.
It starts off so stark. Everything is the palette is so simplistic. It's white, it's gray, it's blue. You have the guys, and you have once, but the minute that fucking dog splits apart.
Yeah. Oh my word.
Yeah.
The minute that goes down, it's like, holy shit.
Well,
and
so she walked in at the time that what's his name? His head was coming off, and she was looking at it, thinking
the Norris thing.
Bud Norris, Norris. And then she was all, "This is so stupid." I said, woman.
Blasphemy.
I said, "You bite your tongue. You turn around and you walk out of this room."
I know that movie too goddamn well.
Little
shit like, like when the dog is splitting apart, and that was Stan Winston, that was Rob Bottin working together, and it's like that, and then it sprays that shit out at the other fucking dog, and just hosing it down with shit. That fluid that they did that's the stuff that's the stuff they put in Twinkies after they aerate it.
Oh, wow.
I'll never have another Twinkie.
And then they aerosolize it, and then they spray it in Twinkies. That's the shit they sprayed that poor dog with.
Yeah. Yep. Twinkies. We'll just go ahead and take Twinkies off the list.
Tell them about the Twinkie.
It is all. No
what about
Twinkies.
The Twinkie?
Yeah.
What about the Twinkie?
Good old Ghostbusters.
Yes.
See, I did that to J.L.Warren earlier. I gave him a line from Ghostbusters, and he was all, "Oh, you were talking to some guy named Ray." I said, "Jesus Christ."
He said, what did you do, Ray? Because I was distracted, and I looked at it and I was like, "Who the fuck is Ray?" Oh shit! What did you do? What did you do, Ray?
Yeah. Just
Yeah. My brother and I.
That's the Concorde going over somebody's head from South Africa.
That's right.
Not looking good.
Yeah. My brother and I can basically communicate in movie quotes.
Yes.
There's such an efficient way of sort of communicating entire concepts and contexts that it's hard to go past them.
Okay. So before you came on, Nerthan Termson said something about a trivia team with J.L.Warren. I have the perfect pop culture, music, movie trivia team. I got a buddy of mine. His name is Ty Choate, and encyclopedia of music. We were at the bar a few years ago, back when I still drank, and there was a DJ there who was doing, trivia question. If you get this trivia question correct, I'll buy you a drink. And he must have asked 30 questions, and we answered every last one of them, all of them.
Okay.
It was
I'll
so
put
bad.
myself up on this. I was a touring musician all through the 90s. And if you give me 70s, 80s, and 90s music trivia, I'll put myself to this any day of the week.
Okay, I tell you, I will take Ty all day, every day, and I'm going to tell you why. It was so bad that after 20 questions, the DJ stopped what he was doing, walked over to us, was like, "Hey, can you guys stop answering the questions?" No, we can't.
You said DJ, so I'm done now because I only do real bands. So yeah.
No. No, the DJ who was doing the trivia, the DJ that was asking the trivia questions, he was playing.
Yeah, I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
I get it. But and Ty looked at him and goes, "No, we're not. You ask the questions, and we're not making you ask these questions." It was hilarious. And it was so bad. It was so bad that halfway in the question, either myself or Ty was yelling out the answer.
Oh, I gotta get in on this. I have to.
Nathan Terp says, "I'm lucky enough to live near one of the few drive-ins left open in Australia, and watching movies there is really cool." That is fucking awesome. But Glober Mom says most drive-ins do not exist anymore, and that is true. Luckily, we still have one. Out east, I think past Mesquite, isn't it, Johnny?
There's one in Mesquite, and I think there's one in just outside of downtown Fort Worth.
We have where I live in Canada, we have one about 40 minutes north of where I live. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the local one where I live is reopening in response to current situation.
Nice.
See, the drive-in, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
you're
Tony,
in your own car. How can it be that bad, right?
Exactly.
By the way, Tony, I didn't get a chance to tell you, and this is I'm totally veering off subject. I'm hitting something different. I never got to thank you. That takedown of you and Ross, Roscoe, was fucking phenomenal. That was so brilliant. The poise and precision that you exhibited during that whole thing. I don't know how you didn't go scanners in that whole fucking thing, because so many times I wanted to just bin my fucking phone.
Yeah,
because I was listening to it. I was like, and I'm sitting there, I keep coming back to it. It was like, because I have conversations going on Discord, and I go, okay, I'm gonna go do this, and I come back. Holy shit, he is still dealing with this motherfucker. And it was just like. It was like Ali Foreman, but like Foreman just wouldn't go down, and he's just like.
Wait a minute, JL. You stop. You slap yourself. Don't you ever make fun of Foreman like that.
Yes, I apologize. I insulted.
Poor Dr. Tony's just like, what the fuck did I walk into?
But it was so impressive to watch, and I got to tell you, I learned so much because where I come from, as far I'm not really debunking, but I come more from I attack the theist side, and because I'm an atheist, and that's the one thing, and religion's effects on society and government, stuff like that. So I go after that, but science is like the earth sciences, natural sciences, physics. Like I'm a very rudimentary. Knowledge that I have in these subjects, and listening to you was phenomenal. And the notes I took to make sure I can grasp these things was stellar. So well done, kudos.
The thing I took away from that was which Aussie could get the most drunk.
I think that was probably me, but yeah.
Yes, and the fact that he was getting drunk, he was drinking so much, and it was like you could see him you could see the decline, the physical decline of his faculties, and Tony's still in there just like, quick.
Yeah.
Butthole, that almost killed me, buddy. What the hell are you doing?
Ozzy's just he's the weeble that won't fall down, man. I swear to God.
I mean, I will say that Flat Earth Ozzy Roscoe is he is no teetotaler.
No, definitely not.
I remember good old days when I drank a lot. I miss drinking scotch. I miss drinking beer, but it's not good for me, so I don't do it anymore. But there were times that I worked at a bar. I would close a bar down. Myself and my other buddy, we would go to what we called Rico's Bar and Darts. That was our other buddy's house, and he would always have a refrigerator, full-size refrigerator full of beer, and we would drink that dry and then go sleep for like an hour, get up and do it all over the next day. Those are the good days.
Ouch.
Just throwing darts, playing fucking dominoes, having a good old time. Just the three of us drinking an entire beer full, our
Micro Raptor says, PhD Tony, even when drunk, you'd probably make more sense than flat earthers. so I'm
That's very kind of him.
Had you been drinking? Okay,
I had.
Or like what? Not you've been drinking, but not Aussie Jesus drinking.
You know what? I would like to throw in at this point. You better be drinking when you show up on the Shills.
You told me what the rules were earlier today, and I don't want Teddy Bogley showing up on my doorstep.
Oh, really quick. So I think everybody just saw a picture of a really pretty girl in the corner. It says appearing on the plot hole. That's Whitney Raquel. I'm working on getting her back on the show. If you didn't see Whitney Raquel on the plot hole way back when we started back up in January, go back to the archive show. She sings a couple of songs. She is one of the coolest, nicest people in the music biz over here in DFW. She's got a great voice. Go check her out. She also appears on a song that I did with, I produced the song with Sean Michael Beasley, who's another channel favorite. They did a song called To Say. I produced that, so yeah, I'm putting that feather in my cap. Dick Dawson, I would actually like to get your opinion on it, so I'll send that to you. It's a folk tune. It's a waltz. And I think it's amazing. But she's going to be back on the show sometime next month.
The 1 2 3 1 2 3 beat has something very special to it. I would love to hear this.
Okay, so especially in the way that that it was used for this song. So when Sean sent me the song, it was like a shortened version of what it is now. It was just his vocals, his guitar, the piano.
Cool.
And it was half the song that it was. And I came in, I listened to it, and I said, dude, there's so much more here. This has to be a duet. It has to be a man and a woman cross. We turned it into what it is. And you know what? I'm going to send it to you right now.
Please do. I mean, I've been in on a few theme songs. Theme songs for debunkers was my thing before I became a video person, right? I did the theme song for Bob the Science Guy. The vocal of the song he used for a while that was Knocking on Heaven's Door reworked. Right? That was my vocal.
Oh, right? Nice.
And the Creaky Blinder, when he had his song for the Pinky Blinders, the theme song that was redone, that was my vocal.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got into being a debunker, was I did theme songs for people back in the day because I am a touring musician. I spent my whole life as a musician, right?
Right. Okay. I just want to throw in quickly that I have absolutely no musical talent or ability whatsoever, and I deeply admire people who do. So just want to put that out there. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Well, see,
yeah, most people don't know it's me because it's under a different username. It's under my Canadian Thomas name, right?
Right. Okay. Yep.
But when I started bringing the attitude to Flat Earth, we needed a different name. So I brought my own name, Dick, fuck you, Dawson, right?
So many times during that episode of the show, I wanted to work in a creek joke, and I never could find a spot to do it. But I'm gonna think of it. I'm gonna come up with one.
Right.
Yeah, well, we got to get you back on ASAP so we can make that work, because that's amazing.
All right, Dick, check your Discord.
Done. Will do.
So yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this one.
So, actually, 2 new people here. There's a question I want to ask you guys, ask the panel, because I asked this of I don't often get really informative answers, but I want to get your guys' opinion. So as we move further and further in space travel, as we're Blue Origin and SpaceX, and we're seeing within the next 5 years, we're going to see the commercialization of space flight, people taking trips and going up, being in the ISS, or possibly what I think is really cool, the von Braun wheel, as a possibility. When we start doing these things, and we're looking at within the next 10 to 15 years, this will be common. So my curiosity is, when these things happen, and normal everyday people who are not astronauts are going up into space, what will this do to this? We already see it's kind of dying off. People, you guys, Flat Earth is getting boring. It's the same shit every single goddamn time. Where people are just fucking repeating themselves. We're moving on to other stupidity, anti-vaxxers and other bullshit. But will this commercialized space flight, will this finally kill this discussion?
No.
I'm inclined to agree with Johnny there. I think that there's always going to be holdouts. There are people who are so far down this rabbit hole that they're disconnected from reality, and they're not going to accept they're not going to accept any amount of testimony or any amount of evidence. It's too central to their personal identity at this point. They're just going to reject. Yeah.
So short of blowing them the fuck out an airlock, they will never accept it.
No, and then if you do that, they'll just say you drugged them.
What he's leading to right there is Dunning-Kruger, right? What he's leading to there is Dunning-Kruger, because God forbid that they actually have to suffer an attack on their ego. And as such, they would rather substitute Dunning-Kruger and bring it in and defend themselves and go, yes, I am the one that actually knows. That has to be it. Otherwise, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Ding.
Go ahead.
I think that group is always going to exist, and we're not going to sort of be able to. There are people. You search around, you can find sort of any sort of insane conspiracy theory on YouTube, and I think they're just going to create their own isolated pocket. It's going to shrink in size. I think it's definitely going to have an adverse impact on them, but no, I don't think it's going to kill it off completely.
Not for a while, at least.
No.
It's going to be decades before it finally goes away, and decades after we actually have real space flight where the everyday average person can do it. So
it's always bugged me the commentary on humanity that it speaks. It's not that there are so many stupid people out there. It's not that people believe stupid things, or illogical or irrational things. It's not that people will always believe irrational things. As long as if they see phenomena they cannot explain, they'll always latch onto whatever their brain sees as the best pattern and gives the best definition. But it's the commentary on humanity as a whole that we lack the capacity to further ourselves to this extent. It's that humanity could never do this. The smartest minds on Earth could never get us into low Earth orbit, or could never get us to the moon. This is not something humans are capable of. And it's like, 100 years ago, it'd be like we'd never be able to create vaccines. Joseph Salk was a shill and was full of shit. And it's like.
JL, would you agree here as I come in here? The people that do this whole, we could never have done this, we had to have had help, are the ones who sit down in their little cozy fucking environments and have no idea what the real world is about. And as such, they have to give us their stupid fucking armchair fueled, no scientific at all reasoning behind it opinions and state it as fact.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like I said, like I was saying on the Shills earlier, it's disenfranchised individuals who, the fringes of society who don't really fit in with any kind of societal group that they've encountered. So they're constantly on the fringe, they're constantly outsiders. And they feel they don't need to put the effort forward in order to be a part of a typical societal group. So they are happy being part of the atypical because it requires no effort from them. And as long as they simply as long as they simply espouse the stuff that the other atypicals are espousing, then they can find a home. So it's both lazy, it's disingenuous, and it's frankly a little bit sad because there's these people who so desperately need to be a part of something, they're willing to give up so much. Just waiting. All they have to do is pick it up, but they're willing to eschew it because they don't have the wherewithal to fucking bend down and get it. That's it.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, everybody on the panel right now, do you see this exploding, expanding, or as the norm, and it just happens to be more prolific due to social media? Do you think these people are growing in numbers, or are they growing in voice? Do you see what I'm saying here?
They're just getting louder. That's all.
Getting louder, but the analytics say it's dropping.
I have to say that I'm viewing it from a slightly different point of view, and I apologize for what I'm about to do. So for me, there's a lot of politicians who rely on basically just lying about the nature of reality, and they're sort of trying to fool their people into voting for them by feeding them bullshit. For this purpose, they want uninformed voters who are trained to think very intuitively and to distrust analytical thought and to think that everything is simple and has a simple solution. Preferably one that can be expressed in 3 words.
I love the phrase, they analytical thought and they are not partaking, because that is truly
the worst part about that is the worst part about it is they think they are. They think they have this perfect little logic, but when you break it down, which they're not willing to do, but when you break it down, there's nothing logical about it. Yep.
And so while we may see the sort of flat Earth subsiding in the near future, I think that stuff like anti-vax or climate denialism or the Karen videos that have been floating around recently, I think we're going to see more of that, because these people are emboldened that they just have to, there's a religio magic thinking involved. If I believe something, then it must be true. I can make it true just by the act of believing it.
Dr. Tony, I'm almost scared to put the Karens in on that same group, but you're actually not wrong with the analogy, and that's really scary, right?
Yeah. And to me, when you look at, say, the direction, sort of the reaction of the right wing to education over the past few decades has been to insert more religious stuff into it, to try and argue against various scientific elements of it. And I think that, even if flat Earth disappears, we're still going to have a bunch of people who have been trained from the age that they could walk to basically believe something in the face of overwhelming negative evidence, and this is a skill that they will apply to whatever political narrative appeals to them.
When you said skill, you were not wrong, because it is very much a learned skill.
I think as long as we are faced as a species, that we are faced with questions that we do not have answers, which we will be, which we honestly did. That's just the nature of life. Is that there will always be questions that at a particular point we do not have answers for. What occurs before Planck time? Where does consciousness come from? Various things like that. Exactly what is the cause of, or the cause of gravity? Not the effect of gravity, but the cause of it.
Yes.
Things like this. We 100, 500, 1,000 years from now, these things may be common knowledge, but the fact that these questions exist will always be a foothold for people to think. At least they're exhibiting outside the box thinking. Yeah. But don't make that your foundation. Don't make
and JL, don't do it armchair style. Do it properly.
Yes, at least do the work.
Right.
Like that. Just do the work. But I mean, And that's the one thing that always got me about flat Earth arguments, that these are individuals, Fight the Flat Earth, Simon Dan, Team Skeptic, all in Red's Rhetoric, all these individuals who are willing to put forth the blood, sweat, and tears to do the fucking work themselves, to bust their asses, not just for entertainment, but for also educational purposes, to literally do the work. And these people will sit back, armchair style, like Dick was saying, and commentate like they were watching a fucking football game, and they had any influence over what the Niners were going to fucking do. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, Team is in the chat right now, right? And Team is somebody who's pretty hard on these guys, right? You know, come on. Mm-hmm. But at the same time,
no, Team is not hard on those guys. Team is like a team. No, he's not hard on them. Team is like plays with them like a little kitty cat, plays with a little fuzzy.
But hold on,
mouse.
let's look at it. Let's look at it pragmatically, right? Team is only hard on those who dig their own hole. You know, if you try and talk in a sensible way and bring it to the table that you're actually trying to bring logic, I mean, you're going to fail, but he does give you proper respect, right? You know, he will give you that moment, no problem. Yeah. Others won't, right? Yep. You know,
well,
so you got to give shouts. You got to give shouts to Father, right?
Craig will kick him in the ass and bury him in the fucking hole they dug.
Yeah.
I actually love Craig's lack of, because when Craig started out, Fight the Flat Earth started out, he was so cool. I mean, he was cool, he was calm, he was collected. But there was one particular episode, I wish I could name it, where you could tell he has lost his last shred of patience, and he just flipped on it. It was like, fuck this shit. I'm done with it. They're going to dig their holes, and then I'm going to hit them with their own shovel and bury them in the fucking hole and be done with it. Goodbye, J.M.Truth. You earned what you got, sir.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was saying earlier today about sort of coming into this community, and the people that I can learn from in this community, and there are a lot of them, and you guys, you three, three of the people I think I can learn from constructively. So I'm, and Team is another one, and Craig is another one. Conspiracy Cats, Blue Marble, Simon Dan. These are all people that I can learn from. And it's just so valuable. And we all need to be aware. It's not the flat as Dick was explaining earlier today, it's not the flat earthers we're really talking to. It's the audience that's watching on. We're equipping the audience with the intellectual tools they need in order to fight off this sort of stuff themselves. And that's what I'm hoping we're achieving.
That's what I'm so happy about Seek Truth, Speak Truth. The rare example of an individual willing to set it down and do the work, and it just blows my mind that. And I'm glad you would think that he went from a few hundred subscribers to finally doing the work, setting aside, and then coming being like, look, I was wrong. He went through his whole thing, and then to see his community grow and the resources that he has to learn, to grow, and to fulfill things that he wants to fulfill, to see the riches are there. The rewards of that are there. And for all these motherfuckers to say, look at what he's done. He has stepped out of the cave. He is not looking at fucking shadows anymore. He knows what's beyond the door. And then he says, you can come with me. It's like, fuck no.
I like
these
how,
shadows, man.
I like how you used the allegory as an allegory. Very nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Did you see that? That was so good.
Yeah, there was a stylish display of erudition.
Very good.
From JL. Yes, very.
That was deep. That was deep, like only the producer could do himself.
Yep. I picked that up. That was good.
But I mean, even talking to just in the background as I was doing work the other day, I was playing J.L.Warren's takedown of J.M.Truth's Superman video, and even just listening to it in the background, you just have to develop respect for the understanding, the systematic, ordered approach to filmmaking that he was laying out there. The structure to it, the logical demands, thinking ahead, that sort of thing. And when it doesn't matter what field it is applied to, that sort of systematic thinking is, I think, inherent to fighting off stuff like the flat Earth, stuff like stuff like anti-vax nonsense or that sort of stuff.
Well stated. Yep, well stated.
Yep. All right, man. This has been a lot of fun, but it's getting on 3 hours.
Come on, team did 8.
Yeah, Platt. I before you sign off, can I say,
Yes,
aside from the Shills, which is my favorite stream to be on, holy man, you have nailed this. I love this show.
Oh, thank you.
Please invite me back on, baby.
Oh yeah, man. You have an open invitation. I try and do after shows every Friday. We didn't do one last night because I was fucking tired. I was just, man, I couldn't do it, so I had to get to bed. And we did it today. Today was supposed to be the Master Debaters Best in Series Purge edition, but people had things to do, so we pushed it back to next week. So the 11th, by the way.
Can I say that I've been playing that role all night? You just I know webcam, so it's all good.
Very good. But seeing
as long as you've been washing your hands, that's
exactly.
cool.
But seeing as how all you guys like the horror films, tune in. We do these once a month. J.L.Warren, actually. J.L.Warren and I. It's like a joint effort. So we do them once a month. We did... What did we do last time? We did Scream. We did Scream last month. So this month, because it's, it's July, it's America Day. Fucking Team Skeptic. Love you guys.
I just saw you wrote that.
That's why I have that. By the way,
Microraptor.
Team Skeptic, that's why I have you on the show.
And Microraptor, J.L.Truth, could you grow your beard and become Globe Earth Murica Darwin? I just noticed it's looking a little Darwin over here.
See, that's the thing. That's what I'm a little irritated with you, J.L.Warren. Used to, I got the beard respect, but now that I'm hanging out with you, all my beard respect goes to you. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
he does have it going on,
he's
maybe.
got it. Well, yeah, he does. And I used to have a bigger beard, longer hair. I was a rock star, but yeah, life happens. Anyway, Dick, do let me know what you think of that song. It'd be awesome to get your opinion on it. What else? Oh yeah. So J.L.Warren, why don't you go ahead and do your sign-off stuff, and then we'll make our rounds.
Cool. All right. I'm JL from the Week in Horror podcast. I also have my own channel going after woo believers and theists and other irrational and illogical thinking. My next video coming out here pretty soon, I hope, will be taking on a hate church that's based out of here in America. And also, we produce the Week in Horror podcast. New episodes every single Sunday. You can check us out on YouTube, or you can check us out wherever podcasts are hosted. We love to hear your feedback. We love engaging with our audience. And if you really, 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 really love what we do, you can always support us on Patreon, patreon.com/weekinhorror. We do have tiers as low as $1 a month where we can get you a shout out on the show. And of course, we do t-shirt giveaways, mystery horror t-shirt giveaways. So check out our website, weekinhorror.net. You can put in your email address, be a part of our email list, and you have an automatic permanent entry into our monthly mystery horror shirt giveaway, something new that we're doing. Hopefully, eventually, if our Patreons get up and we start getting it together, we'll be able to do live streams and get really do some really awesome audience interaction shit. So, weekinhorror.net. Check us out on YouTube. Check me out on YouTube, J.L.Warren. And we'll see y'all next time.
My goodness. It's always fun. Dr. D. Dr. Double Gigantic. Well, no. Tony, what do you think? What you got coming up?
Big swing in PhD.
So I now have some subscribers. So I think that perhaps I need to do some content. I've only got the one video so far, but I'm going to do something on climate change. I'm also hoping to get together with Team Skeptic to sort of refine the one video that I have put together. And that's an exciting opportunity as well. And Amy Hogan has I'm not sure if I should say this, but every time I hear her name, I think of the Davy Crockett theme song, Amy Oaken. And I kind of think somebody should run with that. But
Yes.
so Amy has already reached out to me, and I'll be appearing on the Shills on, I'm happy to announce, on the 18th of July. So looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Damn it, that means I'm going to be distracted yet again. Oh, Microraptor, look at you. All right, Double D, Dick Dawson.
All right, fellow babies, we got a lot of good stuff coming up on the iNetwork, previously the Shills Show, but nothing as absolutely cool as this stream was. I want to give a big shout out to JL. He was an amazing shill and a fucking awesome guest. And seriously, this guy kicks ass. Go and sub his shit right now, or you have no idea what's going on in the world. Let's talk PhD Tony here. This man kicks ass. And again, if you're not subbed to him right now, I don't even know who you are. Do not PM me on Discord, because your name means nothing to me. Over on the plot hole, Big J, you are the man. This show rocks. I am so grateful to be invited on. Buddy, take us home.
All right. Yeah, man. Dude, it's a lot of fun. I love doing these shows. Every Friday night we do the show on the rockmetaltalk.com. So it's fun. I think I've got Schrodinger's cat next Friday.
He's awesome.
Yes, he's a lot of fun. I like his.
You got a fellow shill, baby. All right.
And I'm trying to get this guy, this Dr. Tony guy, whoever he is. I'm trying to get him on the show, but I'm going to find some obscure. I don't even know what the fuck you sent me. Glacial
isostatic adjustment.
That stuff. I'm gonna find some.
Also goes by the name of post-glacial rebound.
Okay.
Yeah,
all those things that he just said, I'm gonna find some. I'm going to stump you. I'm gonna stump the D.
Okay. All right.
Word choice.
I look forward to it.
Word choice.
My money is on the D. My money's on the big swinging D.
Big swinging D.
All right. I'll try not to let you down.
Next, that's Friday. Let's see. Wednesday, what do I got coming up? Wednesday, I think I have the highlight reel from last Friday. But yeah, should be some fun stuff. Oh, do tune in to the Master Debaters Best in Series. I grabbed a couple of things. I grabbed this guy right here, and I grabbed this Betsy Ross right here. So if you want to have a shot at winning these prizes, make sure you tune in to the Master Debaters Best in Series Purge Edition next Saturday, 8 o'clock Central. We'll be doing live trivia. Whoever gets the most trivia questions correct will win that shit right there, courtesy of the Plot Hole and the Weekend Horror. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun. We'll see you guys soon. I don't know when the next... Well, yeah, I do know when the next live stream will be. It'll be next Friday.
Fellow babies, this is the only man who could say Master Debaters with a straight face, so you better fucking tune in.
But really appreciate all of you guys being here. Go check all these other guys out if you haven't done so already. Most of you people here have already subbed and whatnot, but